Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at the Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
This is Tori Muhammad, and we want you to tune in to the Tori Muhammad Show that airs here on What's in It for the Black People Media every Monday and Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We talk and celebrate Black-owned businesses, Black entrepreneurs, and we talk to some of the best people in the food industry here in Chicago, Black chefs, Black restaurateurs. So make sure that you tune in to us every Monday and Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for Black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the Black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Lenders give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm the seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world! This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger.
Hey, good morning, Maze.
Hey, Todd, I see
Sonia.
you. Got my girl, Sonia Escobar, in the building. No Ruthie Moore. She is going to be out for a few weeks, y'all. So we got some people rotating in. Okay, next week we got Cousin Juan coming in. Now, I'm looking to fill in some slots this week. Now, we got some new talent that's going to be joining the brand, joining the station. So I may work some of those people in. We may try and get some of the ladies that work with us during the other shows to come in, even on the weekends, even some other people, and rotate them in. So if you are interested in a lady being sitting in for Ruthie, no one can ever take her place. But if you'd like to sit in for Ruthie and you are interested in that opportunity, let us know. Reach out to us via, you know what? leave a message. I guess you can inbox me. Inbox the What's in It for the Black People page, media page. Shout out to Todd. I see you representing today. You got your hoodie on.
Oh yeah,
DePaul Blue Demon.
I took a class at DePaul for 32 weeks.
Todd, you know you make me laugh.
That counts.
So does that count? What does that count for? Is that when did you do that?
That's like 92.
Okay, what were you doing there? Was this after you left Wisconsin and then went to Xavier, where your dad was the chairman of the board?
No, I was working at that point.
Oh, and so you went to go. What did you do?
It was for computer stuff. It was really to battle Y2K.
You were scared about Y2K. Or were you in the county?
I wasn't scared about Y2K. I think I really just was bored.
In 92?
Uh-huh.
For Y2K?
Yeah.
You got to stay off those science fiction books, man.
No, the whole thought was if you teach enough people COBOL, which was the language that they were worried about.
COBOL? Oh my God. That's so old.
They could go in and change the script so
that the world wouldn't come to an end?
Basically.
Did it work?
It did work. We're still here.
All right, I'm sure that somebody is claiming that right now. So y'all thank Todd for saving the world after Y2K. All right, man. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, rocking his DePaul alum shirt. I always think, when you wear that shirt, do people think you went to the school or can you just like the team? There used to be a time like when you had a college. Like, I feel like you can pull it with like DePaul. Well, maybe not DePaul. Okay, sorry, Ruthie.
Everybody had Georgetown.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, there's a time like there's popular teams, but nobody was running around with Harvard. Right?
No,
and like,
people do because
yeah,
they like
but
to visit and get a shirt. And like,
right.
Did you go to Harvard? Yeah, I went to Harvard.
I visited. I want to go to Harvard, though. You know what I want to do?
What?
I want to go to the Kennedy School of Government program.
Oh, yeah,
I want to do that. So that's like one of my life.
Ask one of your friends to, I forgot how they do it, but there's something.
A recommendation?
Yeah, thank you. A recommendation.
I don't have any friends. Nobody likes me. They might.
I mean, one of your elected friends.
Do I have? I don't know. A lot of people don't like me.
You can hang out at Harvard Yard.
Maybe. I actually though.
We'll go to the bar.
That sounds like Chicago out south. Out south a little bit. But I want to go to Harvard School of Government. They say you get. Well, first of all, I would love to have the certificate. Secondly, just to study the process. But then they tap you into
people who went. That's why you need a recommendation.
There's quite a few local black elected. I think Matty Hunter did it.
Did you?
I think there's quite a few local elected officials who were, I want to say like maybe Toy Hutchinson. I mean, that's something I would really like to do. Like, I actually feel like I want to get back into sharpening my craft. Mm-hmm. Like, I actually feel like if I could put some letters behind the things that I know, I could probably be like rich.
Learning never stops.
Mm-hmm.
No, it never does.
I'm just like so nervous to go to school, man.
I've been looking at the University of Chicago's public policy thing. They've been sending me things, and I'm thinking, I can't afford that anyway.
I believe it's ranked 14th in the nation.
I wouldn't mind going to the University of Chicago either, actually. I bet we could get some scholarships if we push hard enough. Let's see if
That'd
we
be cool.
Let's see.
Well, I'm trying to get in.
To University of Chicago? Let's all apply to University of Chicago together. I think we should. Hey, they gotta have a scholarship for poor black people.
Right, we could be our own cohort.
Yes, we could do that.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So let's see if we can get it. Y'all want to try and apply to University of Chicago? I got to get one from the University of Illinois, too. So I want to do them both. But I would definitely go to Chicago. If I went to University of Chicago, I probably wouldn't be talking to y'all no more, though. I'd probably be like,
how quickly
that's why we have to go together.
Yes, we could go together, and then we could all rise together, and we could get a place at the Obama Museum and be straight.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Sonia Escobar.
Yes.
I'm going to tell, hey, y'all, I would make the camera go down. Sonia got on leather pants. Sonia has on leather pants. Where you going today?
No, it's
Where you going today? It ain't that damn cold for no.
My brain got tripped. 50 degrees.
You're absolutely correct, Sonia, because Claire said the same thing yesterday. She said, I'm cold. And I said, this is what happens when you lose 20 degrees.
You're cold?
Yesterday, 5 o'clock, I was like, oh, wait a minute.
See, y'all better get it together. So, Sonia, I'm just telling y'all, Sonia went away from, she's got the Pinky Tuscadero motorcycle outfit on today because she is rocking all black with a ponytail, leather pants.
I'm here all day.
All right, well, instead of a motorcycle, we are going to get the soul plane up and away, up to 60,000 feet.
All right. Cut the music. Cut everything. Rest in peace to fellow Illini, Kenwood alum, comedian, writer, author, all around nice black woman, Erica Watson, passed away yesterday. And so we're going to ask that you send the prayers up to their family. In case you don't maybe know, Erica used to always be a frequent guest. As a matter of fact, my very first time on Windy City Live, she was the other guest. But we went to the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign together. Oh. She was known as Miss Pound Cake. She did comedy. She was involved. She was a writer. She was involved in just a lot.
So she was young.
Yes, my age. And what was crazy was she had moved to Jamaica, or she was living in Jamaica, and she died in Jamaica. But what you were watching her Facebook post as she was like her oxygen rate, she was actually posting about it. And so I saw her last post where they said they were going to, she said, oh, I'm sorry, Tennille says it was Saturday. And I found out yesterday that she was going to be intubated. And the next thing that I saw, and she was like, everybody stop what you're doing and pray for me. And you know, she passed away from COVID in Jamaica.
Oh.
So I want to just make sure, all of Chicago is more, there's just been a lot, especially with the University of Illinois too. Shamari Daly passing as well. Just so rest in peace to Erica Watson. We're going to have to figure out how we can do some sort of, get some people to come on and maybe give her a tribute, because this COVID is no joke. Rest in peace, Erica Watson. I am sure you are going to see tribute after tribute. Particularly, just an all-around nice woman who just made you laugh. All right, schools reopen today, y'all. Back to school today. The kiddies, the K through 5 comes back today, next week, 6 through 8. No game plan for the high schoolers. I think if they ain't got one yet, they're going to not come back.
You think so?
Come back. They should just let the seniors come back for they should just let the seniors and the freshmen come back for 1 month. Right? Let the seniors say goodbye, have some freshmen to abuse, and freshmen get a taste of being in high school with some seniors, right, in the building, so that they could be familiar with the school that they're going to be going to the following year.
But imagine the kindergartners today.
Oh,
that haven't been in class.
Yes. So I just think we got to figure out some sort of indoctrination. I done got cursed out. I would have Beulah on the show, but she done been on everybody else's show already. She around, plus she be buying everybody else alcohol for their birthday. We don't get nothing for us. That's all right.
I don't drink, so I'm cool.
She could have brought us an edible or something. We could figure it out. That's all right. She can't go on the trip. Maybe we'll let her know. Oh, I forgot your alpha. She'll probably want to go. All right, y'all. Did y'all see United States versus Billie Holiday?
No.
Okay.
I heard it was good.
Hulu, you got to watch it. And what I don't understand is, how did it win a Golden Globe already when I just found out about it last week? Right? And I thought it just came out. And Hulu is making movies that are good. Like everybody, the Golden Globes, the Oscars, all of that. It's just, so Andra Day. Shout out to Andra Day, who won the Best Actress in the Golden Globes. And I think, Todd, that she's done everything just in time. She's done everything right to become a black Oscar winner. She's light-skinned. She got naked in the movie. Right? She was down on her luck, but she was somewhat triumphant. Mm-hmm. But they killed her. So I think she got naked, and that's key to a black woman getting an Oscar, especially having a couple scenes. Now, she did not have one with a white guy.
So
Halle Berry, remember, she got bucket naked with old Billy Bob Thornton of all people. Now I'm just gonna say this. Okay, I'm not even gonna get myself in trouble here. However,
Hattie McDaniels got naked. Oh, I'm just kidding.
I'm not even sure I want to imagine that. However, I just think that it is so unfortunate that for Halle Berry to finally get on TV, and if she gonna do it, at least let the white boys was like, yep. They was like, and it was like Oscar for that.
I'm gonna try to ruin your whole thing. Denzel Washington got naked.
I'm talking about black women.
Oh.
See? No, Denzel killed a lot of black people. I mean, he killed and was stereotypical, a dirty cop, stereotypical black. King Kong! See, told himself, made himself a monkey in the movie. Then they gave it to him.
I don't know about the
Great
monkey part.
performance.
I think the monkey part
Right.
you just said was racist, but
So good.
I can't be a racist. Go ahead.
no, that's all I wanted to say.
But I do think the movie was epic. I'm not going to say it's epic, but it was really good. Very much like Black Judas.
Mm-hmm.
Judas and the Black Messiah, where the feds worked with people even during that era, black folks. Her husband was working with the feds. Good God. All right, but anyway, great movie.
Her
if you
husband
did.
was black?
Yep.
Mm.
See how you see? See? All right, I'm gonna let that
Even
go.
though I was reading some comments about Judas and the Black Messiah, and people were pointing out that the movie did not let the audience know
The age.
Yeah, exactly. You read
Yeah,
that
I
too.
mean, I think it was a big deal when you think about, because it was a big debate. Brian Gorman was saying how the guy was 17 years old, like they were 17 and 21.
Yeah.
But what you should also check out is Salim also did an article about what it took for all of the, posted an article about what it took for all of those, for them to even be able to make a movie that close to what it was, and all of the hoops that they had to jump through to just even make the movie. So it's like, it's funny how we look at it from, y'all should have did this, and this. And I think it's actually a great display, kind of like lesson in government too. They were saying like, do you understand what it was going to take to get Hollywood to greenlight a movie like this? And so we had to have the most bankable stars, but like all of the black people got together and said, we going to make this movie. And they had to do some things, and like it was like a whole Salim, that article was really good. So before we all get critical about the Judas and the Black Messiah, just the path that it took to even make a movie that close to what it was pretty good.
I get it, but they still should have said it.
Yeah, I do think they should have said it too. Okay, I'm gonna tell on myself.
Uh-oh. Sonia, call the police.
No, this is a good one.
I don't call the police.
Did anybody watch Tom and Jerry this weekend?
You mean the movie?
Yes.
Doing homework.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you
I love Tom and
that
Jerry.
I loved Tom and Jerry as a kid.
It was
I didn't like the modern version when they started getting modern and something in space and all of that stuff. But like that, the Tom and Jerry movie this weekend was really good. Like, I mean, like really good. And I mean, like, so much so that I got a sneaking feeling that my granddaughter is going to learn to love that movie. Because that is going to be something that, I mean, they really did a good job of, I really wasn't happy initially with the thought of how they were going to bring live action in with the cartoons, but they did a really good job. And just for the record, clearly somebody black was working on the movie, and somebody black, age appropriate, or was doing an ode to their parents who worked on the project, because they literally had Jerry in his player pad, right? You know, after he had stole everything and made a mouse bachelor pad. He answered to the door to Jodeci. Like, literally, we were like, is this fool playing Jodeci? Like, he was getting ready for, like he was like bachelor pad.
It wasn't cartoon.
It was cartoon.
But
That Jerry Mouse.
It was cartoon, and it's like, I'm just here to tell you, parents, I don't even know if they made the movie for the kids.
Well, you know, if you make a movie that's only for kids, it gets terrible reviews.
I agree. But I'm going to tell you that the Tom and Jerry, somebody inside of that whole mix really captured the essence of latchkey kids who stayed home and had to watch Tom and Jerry. And the only thing they did not do that I was waiting to see how they was gonna deal with was Thomas.
She didn't come up.
She didn't come
No, I
up.
didn't think
But they had Butch. They had the Alley Cats. They had Spike. They had it was. Todd, I'm sorry to say that we spent this much time on Tom and Jerry, but I will be watching that movie again. And I'm just going to tell parents that if you want something, like sometimes you be like, man, I do not want to watch this kid movie.
Right.
This is one where the kid, first of all, I just need to say my son tried to play it off, but he enjoyed it.
He enjoyed it though.
Right. He tried to play it off. 15 years old. I was like, do you want to watch Tom and Jerry with me? He was like, no way. So I'm cooking dinner. I'm prepared for him to go upstairs. And he's like, where can I get a tray? And he says, I said, where can you get a tray? He's like, yeah. And then he pops down right next to me on the recliner. And him and Carrie made it all the way through. I made it. Right. They made it all the way through. I made it to about 40 minutes left. And then I woke up and watched at 5 o'clock in the morning before I came here to catch up so I could be part of the conversation when everybody woke up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but y'all check out Tom and Jerry. It was really good. Shout out to Curtis Tarver, State Representative Curtis Tarver. He said him and Minnie CJT watched it twice. Him and his daughter. Man, y'all want to see some fatherly love? Go watch Curtis Tarver's Facebook page with him and his daughter. I'd be like, ain't no woman got a chance and ain't no man got a chance because they got a father-daughter relationship on social media that just they need to start a Facebook page. Let me just start that. All right, John Lausch is officially staying. The Biden administration will not be kicking him out. One more reason why I think that Michelle Harris is going to be the Democratic Party nominee because Todd, it's like Madigan is like, for real, y'all done kick me while I'm down. So Durbin, y'all still gonna keep this campaign
sent him a letter.
Yep. So I just feel like it's one more reason because Durbin and them kicked off to keep the federal.
Oh
term.
yeah.
So I'm just saying, it's just they just digging the hole deeper.
I was listening to these people say that the U.S. Attorney generally is not a Democrat or Republican. I was
Get out of here.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
So what was Eric Holder? So what was the last guy? William Barr? What was the little white guy from Texas who was like Go Klan? Jeff Sessions?
Yeah, Sessions.
Right? What was Bobby Kennedy? What? Man, if you don't, wait, you need to stop reading. You got to stay off the dark web, man.
Oh, that's
got you reading
just,
craziness.
Public radio.
Fake news.
Hey, see, there you go. You should have been listening to a replay of What's in It for the Black People Media, man, and you wouldn't be getting this misinformation.
I could be
indoctrinated. All right, new today, if you're on your way to taking the kids to school, make sure there is no speeding, especially if you are on Western. Golly, on Western, it's like booby trap. It's like you might as well be in the old South on Western, because it is like speed trap after speed. It'd be like stop, go stop. Now, I guess if you just went the speed limit the whole time, you wouldn't have these problems.
But it's so much pressure because everybody's going fast.
Yes, and it's like 4 lanes in each direction, and it's like, you really want me to go 20 miles on this?
Well, I don't know if he's the only, but one of the traffic engineers told me, he was talking about Stony Island, but I think they're very
applicable.
similar. Yeah, that they have all the makings of a highway, which is why people feel so comfortable going so fast.
Just like Lakeshore Drive. Have you ever ridden on Lakeshore Drive and tried to go the speed limit?
It is really difficult.
It is like, and then it's like, really? And it's like,
am I walking?
My car be like, all right,
There's a
for
red
real,
light?
dog. Right, my car be like, really, dog? Like, really?
Right.
Like, you see all of this. We supposed to, because you could do from.
Scenery.
Yes. It is like,
You're with your cousin.
what's that game? What's the, like one of them, remember the game where you used to have the, you could pick a Ferrari or whatever it was, and you could be driving and you could pick different landscapes and you'd be driving
I
through
remember
it.
that game.
It's like, you got Lakeshore Drive out there, and it's like,
You see the lights and
especially then when you coming off of 55,
Oh, my gosh.
right, where you coming off of the expressway and use it, man, please. All right. All right, we're going to talk about this a little bit more
man.
after the break. Y'all going to be mad? I think y'all going to be mad. So I'm going to couch this. Did I mention I spoke at a funeral this weekend? Rest in peace to
They still do that.
Rest in peace to Aldridge Otis Joyner, who passed. He, in my very, very early age, I would tell this story. I wanted to tell it at church so bad, but I couldn't. But it's like, you know how there are. So I was single. My mom was single, and there are men that in a village take responsibility, right? Mm-hmm. And so this guy was like the guy that took me to all my first, showed me a lot of my first, like from 0 to 9. And so he passed away. And I was just thinking about how instrumental he was in my life. He was the guy who taught me how to shake it, or told me, you got to shake it.
Shake it?
You got to shake it. When we come back.
Sorry for your loss.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So I spoke at a church this weekend.
Are we talking about the bag again? No, go ahead.
No, I'll tell you about that on the break. But one of the things that was interesting while I was at the church was at the funeral was that the family had to sit on the second row. Now, and it got me to thinking, and I think it was in honor of like the first family kind of deal.
So nobody's on the first row.
Wait, both sides or just one side?
No, on the first row is like the pastor's family, like the original pastor's family.
So they were there.
They were there, and they were on the front row. So the family that was grieved had to sit on the second row.
Oh.
And I was kind of like, something ain't right about this.
Yeah.
It got me to thinking about black churches, and I was thinking. Then I thought that segued me into the Father Pfleger thing, where they are saying that Father Pfleger, you saw over the weekend, Father Pfleger got a letter from DCFS saying that the allegations were unfounded.
Oh, you did?
Right? Mm-hmm.
No, I saw the part where they were withholding $100,000. I didn't know.
Well, we're going to talk about that too. But the DCFS investigation came back unfounded.
That's why the church was pushing?
Well, that's why the church is pushing, but it's so much twisted into it, I want to talk about it. But I got to thinking about all of this, and black folks and they preachers and they pastors and the personalities versus the ministry. And so I want, that going to that church this weekend and watching that kind of triggered that. Then watching this kind of Father Pfleger thing not unravel, but unfold, got me to thinking about black people in their church, right? And I got to start thinking about it in the social media question of the day, and then we're going to take a break. Is the black church more about the man or the actual ministry? Okay, I'm going to ask this question again. We're going to open up the phone lines after the break. But in the black church, is the black church more about the man or the actual ministry? I'm going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it in context to the Father Pfleger scenario that's going on. And I want to be very ginger about it because obviously I don't want no beef. I don't want no problems. But I do think it's a peculiar situation, and we see it all the time. It was funny to me in the Catholic Church. We don't see it because we don't really think of these things kind of being public in the Catholic Church. But there's oftentimes in black churches issues within the church, right? Particularly issues that concern the pastor.
And Catholic priests aren't always very charismatic.
Got it. Okay? So, right. Eggs, bingo. You really just nailed on it. Nailed on another point of it. And so that's part of the reason black people don't go to Catholic churches, right? Because there's a lack of charisma. There's a lack of, but is the black church more about the man or the actual ministry? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need
need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Peace, everybody out there. What's going on? This is Eugene McIntosh, one half of the illest independent sports media outlet in the whole entire land, the Bigs. Check me and my player partner, Terrence Tomlin, a.k.a. T-Tom the Great, out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. on What's in It for the Black People Media Network.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard.
We have a very, very special guest, man, joining us on today's show. Walter Beach, he's my godfather and one of two of the dopest black men I've met in my entire life.
This is how I always introduce myself. I'm black in attitude, I'm black in behavior, I'm black in belief and thought, and I'm African in spirit. I accept and acknowledge the fact of my African self being intuitively and have developed the cognitive strength to function as a black man in America. As an African black man, my hypocrisy manifests as silent rage. I must decide what my relationship to racism will be. Only I can say when and where I enter my manhood with quiet, undisputed dignity, without violence or special patronage, asking no quarters, and giving no quarter. When and where I enter, I take with me my people. That's what the sovereignty that Toussaint was talking about means to me. I'm a sovereign human being. And like he was talking about in that point that we made in Amistad when we was talking about, all of our species demands to be free. They may not have the power to prevent it, but they just demands it. And that's what they do. That's what the struggle is about.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. Call in and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474. That's 872-259-7474. Give us a call and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474.
Oh, yes, Chicago, it's your man, Maze Jackson, and you are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Ruthie Moore is out. If you are rocking with us, I'd like to, we're looking for women who will, looking for your suggestions as who you might like to see fill in. Now, we got Cousin Juan coming in next week. I was thinking about bringing in some of our weekend talent, as well as that could come in and sit in with us. Maybe we'll get some of them to reach out and be with us this week. But I want to go to the social media question of the day. Is the black church more about the man than the actual ministry? Yesterday, it was, well, let me back up. I'm going to do a couple setups. First of all, we are talking about, did you see the story about Father Pfleger and Saint Sabina? A couple things happened this weekend. First, the Department of Children and Family Services issued a letter to Father Pfleger stating that the claims of sexual abuse from 30 years ago were unfounded. Ordinarily, we would think of that as kind of a bill of clean health. Yeah? If you read that that the Department of Children and Family Services said that they found that the claims of sexual abuse were unfounded. your initial thought would be that they did an investigation of the claim and said, nope, nothing there. He's good.
Right. If it'd been 2 years ago, I might be, But 30 years ago, I'm like, okay.
Okay. Now, if I told you that then that letter, then Mike Monaco and Father Pfleger's attorney presented the letter, and I'm not going to say Father Pfleger, but the attorney presented the letter as though that would be enough to allow him to go back to his parish. The archdiocese said no. That is not enough. Now, I would ordinarily, being Maze Jackson, be like, man, y'all tripping. This is a conspiracy. This is a plot. Until you find out that when DCFS says that an allegation was unfounded, you have to, their rules say they can only investigate what happened in which a child is currently involved. So now the allegations of being, the letter that's saying it's unfounded essentially says that DCFS really couldn't do an investigation because there are no children currently involved in the situation. So as you present that letter, it tends to be somewhat, I would suggest, misleading. Right? So if you present to us that DCFS has said that these allegations were unfounded, but DCFS in their rules say that they cannot even investigate the situation because there's not currently a child involved. Then essentially it seems to me like you're hitting us with the people of color move. Right? Where it's, okay, they got this, we're helping people of color, but we're thinking black, but they saying people of color. It seems like there's a little chicanery, not chicanery. I don't even want to go there. But it does seem a tad bit misleading that you would think that if they said that DCFS actually investigated the two guys who said that they were children who were abused.
Right.
They didn't talk to any of them. They didn't investigate any of it. And then they sent a letter saying it was unfounded.
That doesn't sound
kosher.
Yeah.
Now, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Father Pfleger. And I truly hope that all of this is made up. But I don't think that he does himself any service by trying to do the wordplay. I feel like you gotta just beat the whole thing back. You can't try and slicker. You can't use like fanciness or anything with it. And I feel like because of the person that he is and what he means in the community, particularly to the Saint Sabina community, I think he should want to have a clean bill of health, not anything where someone can come back and poke holes. If it was someone else, I probably would be doing a whole different kind of show on this topic. Because I'd be like, brother, you just gave me a letter that said that you free and clear off of them saying that they really never even investigated it because their laws don't even allow them. It's only for DCFS is only for applicable for now children. So they're saying it didn't happen now. Which gets me to then that understanding that seems to be that doesn't seem to be hard to understand, does it? That DCFS could not, giving you a letter from them saying that the case was unfounded, even though they know they can investigate, that does not seem to give you a clean bill of health. Does that to you?
No, I think you're right.
And as a rational adult, most rational adults would get that while we understand the letter, this isn't really enough to clear it. Now, if you say we don't care, that's one thing.
Right.
But if you care to know the truth, then you say, okay, and you're part of the archdiocese. You're not part of Father Pfleger. You're part of the archdiocese. Saint Sabina, no matter what you say, is part of the archdiocese. Hence the fact that they are willing to withhold $100,000 a month. Now, hold up. I got to stop. So in case y'all did not hear, they said that since the Archdiocese did not reinstate Father Pfleger, after this letter from DCFS, that they were going to take the next strategic step, which was to withhold their chapter, not their chapter taxes, but their assessments. Mm-hmm. So when you're part of a church or denomination, you collect tithes and offerings and you got to pay up. Like everybody, it's like a pyramid. Everybody got to kick in. Right? Now, $100,000 a month coming off of 79th Street.
Man, that's pretty good, huh?
That pretty good. Plus salary, plus expenses. That's no wonder they doing so damn good. $100,000 off of 79th and Racine a month. That's $1.2 million that they're paying to the Catholic Church. If I'm Father Pfleger, I say bust the Catholic Church. I'm keeping the $1.2 million, and we'll start our own thing. But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, they probably actually have in there. I forgot the little, what we call a little booklet that you get. They tell you how much they collect every month, and probably tell you how much they collected last year at this month.
Okay,
so you could, so it's all visible.
Your finance, right? I got you, but $100,000 a month
to Rome.
Right.
I don't think it goes. I don't think that 100,000 gets to Rome.
Some of it do.
Some of it probably does, but
I bet you 10.
But some of it stops on the north side.
Right. Most of it.
I mean, that's
where
the
that's
card
right. Indeed. So now my question becomes: so now they're withholding the $100,000, which I think is strategic. I think it's every right, but it does still not absolve. It does not get us to the clearance of the issue. It's like there's an internal battle between the Catholics of how they want to deal with this. And then there's the component of the actual issue. And what I've come to recognize, and I think, Todd, you nailed it on the head. Black people look at the pastor more than the ministry to me. I've gone to black churches and I've gone to white churches. You go to a white church, it's bland. They be like, done. There's no jazz to it. It's like, but you in and out in an hour. It's like straight business. You get your God, you get your Bible, you out in an hour and a half. Now, if you do all the extra stuff, but you're in and out. Ain't no patting the organ in the church go longer, none of that. It's the pastor knows he got 20 minutes to get these people in and up out this bad boy.
That may be Catholic church, but there's a lot of Protestant churches that are very, dang, I had a word and I forgot what it was.
I'm talking about white, though.
Yeah, I'm talking about white people. They're very, it's not passion. What is it when you're emotional? It's not Pentecostal, is it? No, that wouldn't be right.
Okay, so I will give you that there are white churches that stretch it, right? That they catch the Holy Ghost.
Yeah,
they're evangelical. They do their thing.
Evangelical, yep.
Okay? But it's still a business. Like, I never forget. Like, now churches, like white church, black churches have a board of trustees, but the pastor pick them and they are 100% yes men. Right? They be like, yes, pastor, deacon board.
Even
the white church
trustees are actually supposed to be the governing body.
But they govern to the will of the pastor, for the most part, in a black church. Because the pastor founded the church, he like, yo, this is my joint. Y'all want it, and that's why they pass it on to their kid, whether the kid can preach or not. Mm-hmm. It ain't no calling. This is our family legacy. This is a family business. Homie, you ain't too far gone to see that yet. But it usually starts with a very charismatic church pastor who blows up the church, and then he has somebody to pass it on. This is a little different. But I do see the people at St. Sabina responding the same way that black people tend to do, which is we love our pastor, not necessarily the denomination or the philosophy that goes with it. Like when we were Nazarenes, it was a whole book you had to learn to be a Nazarene. Like that you will not be playing cards, you will not be, right? And it was established. And I was just thinking about the response because I don't really know if anyone cares ever about the victim when it's a black church pastor or whatever. I can't really ever think of a time when a pastor has truly been held accountable, like when we publicly know that they've ever really been in a black church been held accountable for their actions. Mm-hmm. It's more like, I mean, you think about it, you can catch a pastor with a nude selfie and castigate the woman. Right?
That's a man thing too.
Huh?
I don't know if that's a female thing because
what?
Because
taking pictures of yourself?
No, not that part. The castigating.
No, they don't because women. Okay.
No, I mean, do women castigate women?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh yeah, the women be the first ones to be like, "You're not messing with Pastor." And I just think that what's interesting to me about this, and I'm not, and it goes to my like. I don't feel like anyone has ever addressed the elephant in the room of the young men. And not for Father Pfleger, but in general, do you believe that black people put the pastor in front of the ministry? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Frank is on the line out here. Come on, president of the phone club.
Thank you, my brother. And good morning to you, Brother Mays and Brother Todd.
Good morning.
Sister Sonia and Ruthie, wherever you are.
Good morning.
Wow. I'm going to show you how powerful this social media survey is and how on time it is. Okay. I agree with Todd. Brother Todd, yes, I do. It does, the needle does, the sort of scale does slightly tip towards the pastor, because if you gain the love and respect of them, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like confined to black people either. I'm gonna give you a good example how, you know what I'm saying, how this is almost like human nature. You notice how CPAC over the weekend, Brother Mays, had literally built a golden statue of Donald Trump.
I did say that.
Doesn't that remind you of the golden calf that was built at the foot of Mount Sinai at the request of Nathan, and they expected Nathan to be their leader now, and Donald Trump basically did what Nathan did. Nathan said, "What can I lead you back to Pharaoh?" Well, Donald Trump said, "No, we're not going to start a new party. We already have a party. What can I lead you back to the Republican Party?" So it's somewhat you can pretty much say it's like human nature. The love of the pastor is very powerful, and respect of the pastor is very powerful. And you notice the faces over the TV I saw, the speaker of Father Pfleger, were mainly black. Okay, so we are very conscious about who our pastor is and the love of him, okay, and it's almost like a leadership role. That's why Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. regained the respect and the follow that he did because of the great love they had for them. So it could be very great and very dangerous too, because if the message is bad like Donald Trump, okay, you still gonna have his father because they love that man. But I hope what happened is for the Mount Sinai, I hope there's a repeat. You know what I'm saying? God's going to step in. But yes, sir, brother, man, this is a great question. And that's the minister, man. See, a lot of people don't know that you're an ordained minister. So y'all listen, y'all getting a taste of it. That was a great question, brother, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank.
Yeah, I almost forgot myself. But, you know, there's a little background on the Catholic Church, and at least in Cook County, City of Chicago, and I believe parts of Cook County. I'm not sure if it takes in the whole county. I can't remember now. But the way it works is a priest, and I may have my numbers a little off because I haven't thought about this in a while. A priest is assigned a parish for like 6 years. Mm-hmm. And after that 6 years is over, they have to they can be reassigned to that parish, or they can be moved. Typically, they're reassigned and they stay there for like 12 years, and then you move.
Right, and Father Pfleger, they tried to do it, and every time he tries to move, he uses the people and say, "Y'all can't move me." Again, I'm not tripping. That's y'all church. Y'all do what y'all want to do. But I do think that there is an allegiance. Like, I don't know if the Saint Sabinans are really Catholics or they're Father Pflegerites, right? Like, if there was a Jesuit, right? Like, he had the Saint Sabina is a I don't want to say aberration, but it is an anomaly. Yeah, an anomaly.
I think I looked the aberration up, and it's got a
negative term. So it's an anomaly. But I do think one of the things that I find troubling is the lack of concern for our children in comparison to the concern for the pastor in general. I'm not going to even make it about Father Pfleger. Mm-hmm. But I do think that black people's let me just say this. If it was my church, I would want it to be proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. Mm. Not because I believe in my pastor. Not because of you, but because I believe in my pastor and I want to move forward. And I almost feel like it's like I don't know if you negotiate money in a case like this. Because this ain't a money issue. Like, no. You don't give us our pastor, we not going to pay our fees. Give us what we want. So do what y'all want with them kids. But give us our pastor. And I don't know if that is strategically, if you were dealing with business, maybe. But this is the business of souls. So there's an emergence here. And I often think, like I was telling yesterday, Pastor Terrence Keys at church during the Church Chicago show, because they had this lady who came and sing, and they came and sang yesterday. And I was like, that would get me to come to church. Right? It ain't the message, and it's the feeling that I get when I come. And I often feel like we as black folks are way more enamored with the pastor. And again, I think it's part of our whole premise that we don't hold our pastors to a higher standard. And I do believe that they should be. I do believe that, again, like yesterday, when I went to that church, and no shade, absolutely no shade, but it really was bothersome to me that the family wasn't on the front row. Mm-hmm. And it's like, hold on, ma. Let the people. And it's like, it's such a reverence for this edifice and protocol that the people in the mix don't make a difference. And there are people let me just say this. There are people at St. Sabina who I trust, believe that we get our hair cut together. We have been in the fight together, etc. And I know they're almost like blind allegiance to Father Pfleger because of what he's been able to do in the neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to take anything away from that, but I do think that there has to be a point in our community where nobody is above reproach. And you got to be like, yo, cuz, put it on, like, let's get it straight so we can move forward together. But I don't think that, like, trying to, as Ruthie would say, finesse me with a DCFS investigation that says that, don't put it in front of us like the DCFS investigation cleared the father from the allegations and now the white people are trying to play you. No, they didn't investigate the issue, and the archdiocese is investigating the issue. Now, are there people in the archdiocese that would want to get Father Pfleger? Yes, I have no doubt. Because he has defied them and been able to checkmate them at many a turn. Right. But there is also, in that business, you got to make sure that your sheets are clean because somebody will try and expose you if they can. Right? Right. And so I think that Frank and I totally agree on this. This is not like a black thing. This is all over. And you can go through many churches and you'll find, I don't care what kind of denomination, where they are attached to the minister himself more than they're attached to whatever, religion they are. Yeah. Right? They're not right. Again. And like this is my thought. And this is the same reason they move Catholic priests around is the same reason they move generals around, because they don't want the flock or the soldiers to get too attached to that person and it becomes about them and not the bigger goal. And they can always turn them to war on the country in the worst case scenario. Right. Which we've seen Father Pfleger, like he's defied many a cardinal edict, right? With like it's time to, with great backing. Right. And they be like, what you gonna do about it? And it's like, no, everybody be like, we can't mess with the black church over there. Like, don't nobody want no black problem because they already got other problems. And they're very successful. Yes. All right, y'all. Well, shoot, they clearly successful. 100 stacks a month. Look, 100 stacks a month. They basically was like, 100 stacks a month, we make this whole thing go away. Mm. That's essentially what I feel like that's what was being said. If you're going to leverage your taxes to your church that you're really essentially the way it's supposed to work is the church say what the rules are, the people in the church enforce the rules of the church, and the pastor ain't got no way to go. Not in reverse. I got the text. That means I'm in trouble.
It's not even 7 o'clock.
Oh Lord, y'all can't be sending me texts like this neither. I'm not. I told you I was touching the subject gingerly. Black people, the mad black people, are not trying to be ginger with this. Look, y'all, when we come back, we're gonna talk about. I'm moving on because y'all ain't finna have me. We're gonna talk about the chairman of the race for the chairman of the Democratic Party of Illinois. Proxy war heats up. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
What's up, good people? If you didn't tune in to the last I Said What I Said, here's what you missed. This legendary journalist, man, his list of accomplishments goes on and on. He's an author, a brother. He is someone that, for me, I've looked up to literally since I was about 11 or 12 years old. And this was really before I knew his name. I mean, I knew what Slam Magazine was. That's kind of what you did as a shorty. But I didn't even know that he wrote for it, right? And I had read plenty of his articles, but I didn't know that the dude who I saw every morning on my way to school was Scoop Jackson. Eastside crazy, man. So, in growing up over there where I grew up, there wasn't a whole lot of positive male representation. I would walk down the block past his house every morning. I would see him coming out of his driveway, right? He had this coldest truck, black Pathfinder, if I recall. I would see him, and he would always just take a couple minutes to chop it up, and it would just be me or, a couple of my guys just walking to school. And again, over there wasn't a whole lot of representation of positive black males. I don't know that you were aware of the difference that you were making on us at the time.
I don't want to say I don't believe in the concept of giving back. I feel if you give back, that means that you left. So my whole purpose in never leaving the same neighborhood I came up in is that I never gave back. You just give. I would hope that I would have impact on what your everyday lives were. I could be the one dude in the neighborhood that stopped and spoke to you, which I think is really important.
Yeah.
Because young individuals in black neighborhoods, especially young men, get ignored very quickly. They get dismissed. Right. They get minimized. And the one thing, I still do it to this day. Say what's up to everybody, especially young brothers, because we have a tendency not to acknowledge one another. And I've never lived that life. My hope was that, us having the small time and me just being there and you all, just developing a relationship with me and me developing a relationship with you would have at least a small impact on you. It would give you there's some decent people around me. There's something I can look forward to maybe. If I don't have anybody else in this neighborhood that I can talk to that can identify with me, right, I can ring Scoop's doorbell. You got a good memory. It was a black Pathfinder too. You good.
Coldest truck I had seen. I was like, yo, that's raw. Cuz ballin'. I said what I said. Urban 2, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at the Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
Tune in to Parenting in a Pandemic, powered by the Chicagoland Mom Squad, every Thursday at noon, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Chicago great, Simeon legend, University of Illini legend. ILL, baby! Man, flying Illini, man, that's a Dick Vitale. I don't think he could have stated it any better. NBA great. It's always great to have a Chicago basketball icon, hoop legend, the one and only Nick Anderson in the building. Nick, how you feeling, brother?
What's going on, fellas? From that day I got drafted till we are sitting here in front of each other today, I'm thankful and I'm grateful that my mom has never worked another day in her life. People don't know. I can remember the conversations that me and Benji used to have all the time, that we were going to buy our mom a big house and a pretty car. It was so unfortunate that he wasn't here to live out that dream, but I lived out the dream for me and him. As you know, Benji wore number 25. I wore number 25 my entire college career and my entire NBA career because of Benji. You think about all the guys that came out of Simeon and went down to the U of I that wore number 25 after me at the University of Illinois.
Yep.
And then you have to give love to Newt, Juwan Howard.
Yep.
He wore number 25 at Michigan. We carry that name on. That legacy is still being carried today.
It is.
It absolutely is. You see D Rose wearing 25 now. It's special. That means something to me. And that's something I will always carry with me.
The guys at Simeon that wear 25, all of the guys at Illinois, Deion Thomas, Brian Notary, all of those guys up until now, and like you said, in the league, we see Kendrick Nunn. Jabari had number 25 stitched in his shoes when he played for the Bulls.
Yes, sir.
It's a Chicago thing, man. I feel like we wear Benji, however we can represent Ben Wilson, we do it. I remember Common, one of his famous albums, I think it was One Day It'll All Make Sense or something, and he had a whole 4 bars about Ben Wilson, and it kind of just took me back. It's like anytime you hear a new Ben Wilson story, or anytime you hear the name Ben Wilson, it just resonates like none other. So I'm glad that you were able to start that whole, and I don't even want to call it a trend, because it's definitely more than a trend,
Oh, exactly. It just carry on. One of the greats, one of the special ones. He will always be talked about. He will always be brought up in conversations somehow, some way. And because he was special. He was just a special guy, not only basketball-wise, but a human being. He was just a special dude. I still remember what I was doing and where I was at that day all that went down. I remember it like it happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't forget it.
Being outside, like across the street at the candy store or something when all of that went down.
Yeah, man, I remember it just like it was yesterday. And the way how dark it got in a few seconds, it was, just to think about it, man, it just brings a dark cloud over your head.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
What's in it for the black people? Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, this is a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around that can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressed to solve them? What's in it for the black people? All the lies we done heard before. Time to pay attention. You gotta do more to listen. Some action with it on the count of 3. Let's roll.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Sonia Escobar in the building. Ruthie Moore is in a space, time, and planet remove away. So look, this is what I want y'all to do. I want you all to do me a favor. I want you to take a moment and share the broadcast. I want to send a big shout out to Shelly McIntosh, Kathy McLean, DB Digby, Kenny Cool, and Theodore Johnson, Corey Wheeler, Yashika Wadi, Kelly Kells, Katie Lindsay, Dr. Keisha McCaskill, Cher Phillips, Stephen Hodo, Percy Thomas, Marvin Bell, M. Wade Jr., Scott Stewart, Greg Granite, Thomas Thorpes, and Darick Griffin. Thank y'all for all the stars. I see y'all over on the Maze Jackson page. Right, y'all. You know, if y'all still sending stars, you can still send stars from the Maze Jackson page. I want to send a big shout out to everybody that's over there rocking with us. Then when I get over to the Maze, to What's in It for the Black People, you know what? I'm gonna just tell y'all something. Do I see Brandon Tomlin? I'm gonna be looking for that Brandon Tomlin advertising dollars shortly, cause I heard we mumped him up. Shout out to Brandon on the snow removal. Doing this thing. Who else is out there rocking with us? I need y'all to take a moment and share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. Who's out there? So I see Boosie. I see Remy. I see Candace Moore. Shout out to Devin, Michelle, Flag, Audrey, Dr. Audrey Tanksley. Y'all see her with Inhale, Exhale. Y'all catch the show. Did y'all catch the Valentine's Day show? They was nasty. I'm sorry, excuse me. They were medical. Dr. Audrey. Eric Smooth, Holiday Pool. Shout out to let me see who else is out there. Hold on. Dang, y'all done ate up all the space. Devin. Shout out to Regina Gibson. Shout out to Alvin E. Norton. What up, Kevin Merritt? Shout out to Antonil, who is always monitoring y'all in the comments. Sonia Escobar. Sonia, I don't know how you do it all.
That's me.
Cletus!
He said my name.
What up, Cletus?
Hey, Cletus.
Cletus Williams, Brandon Tomlin, Diane Wilson Body, Reggie Brown, Tyrone Tate. What's in it for the black people? You know, shout out to Karen Johnson. I see you watching. Denise Russell, Lisa Cooper. Everybody, shout out to State Farm. Hey, man, y'all got to get y'all a haircut like me so y'all can get the State Farm discount. Don't front. Narisha Tate. Felicia Simmons Stovall, y'all, we got to make her a judge. Shout out to the Cook County Bar Association. Y'all better make sure, not the judicial. Y'all better make her a judge. I know that, else we're going to have to come get it. Shout out to Jacqueline Franklin, Betty Jones, Carlotta Strong, Ronald Rualak. Who else am I missing out here? I'm trying to get y'all in here. I see Candace Moore. Desmond. What up, Antonil? Bueller, am I supposed to do we even say Bueller McLeod?
Sure we do.
That's because you're alpha. She don't talk to the brothers, you know what I'm saying? That's all right, though. I don't know if she gonna get to go on a vacation. Jamaica with all them locks, and she can't even get on the beach.
Come on.
Shout out to Philip Samuels, Brent Collins, Sybil Jackson, Caesar Man, Caesar Lizo De Janeiro, Tammy Jackson, James Say, S-E-A-Y, did I say that right? Marvin Bell, shout out to Marvin. Marvin always be like in the first people. What up, Tiger? I see you out there as well. Shout out to my president, Tamiko Holt, who is probably going to punch me in the lip. Had a meeting on Friday. I was supposed to meet with her on Friday. Ooh. Hey, man, you know you go to the meeting and then the guy say, would you like a drink? Then they be like, yeah, I'm just going to go lay it down. Just going to go lay it on. No, of course you do. Of course you do. Uh-oh. Then I got to go to St. Rita today. The boy is playing. Shout out to Lil MJ. He's starting tonight. First start. First, official start, non-injury related. Y'all send up some prayers. Tell him look at the basket, shoot. Shout out to my man, Gino.
I saw the video.
Eugene McIntosh. I'm starting to feel some kind of way. Gino taking it personal. Won't let the boy out the gym without 300 made. You got to make 300. You should see them noodle arms be like noodles. After they come out the gym, he be like, let me eat and go to sleep. Actually, he would eat and watch Tom and Jerry. Aww. Then he'd be like.
He worked hard?
He did work hard.
That's cool.
Gino, man.
Nice.
Gino getting old. Even though he said he's in 1,000-shot club because he made 1,000 shots this week.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. All right.
I used to take 50 shots and see how many I could make from the three-point line. Do my own percentage.
What'd you do?
I could only make 30 out of 50. Maybe 31 on a good day.
With them,
the really good guys, they're making
but that's the
85 to 90.
Check this out. Gino, at the end of the workout, so after you do so he make you do 100, you got to hit 100. Then you got to go through the free throw line and you got to hit 10. You got to hit 10. If you miss one, You got to hit 10 in a row. Mm-hmm. You get one miss out of them 10. Mm-hmm. And if you miss the one before the 10th, you got to go all the way back to 0 and start. Mm. So it's like free throw, no pressure. Whew. Man, it was good to watch though. Check that out on Instagram, MJ. I think I'm gonna do a little Instagramming today live as well. I think I might start doing some.
During the break?
Oh, maybe. Okay. Maybe I'll Instagram during the breaks. Y'all can see Todd. Todd's hair's growing in, so he's getting quieter. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. Maze and Sonia. No Ruthie and Todd. Let's talk about the race for the chairman of the Democratic Party of Illinois. People say it's heating up. I don't know if 44.28% to 23.2% is heating up. But what we are seeing is the divisions. Yeah, that sounds nasty. What you are now seeing is the lines, the demarcations. Remember that battle I was telling you about last week about what happens between this is a proxy war between J.B. Pritzker and Dick Durbin for the soul of the party. Now, ordinarily, J.B. Pritzker and Dick Durbin would be on the same side.
Makes sense.
Especially with there being a Mike Madigan. But now there is a fight to be. It seems like with the removal of Mike Madigan, JB has become the right. And when I say right, the old school. Or what a semblance of the old school. Because when he talked about Michelle Harris, he said she's built a mighty ward organization. They built out a turnout machine, etc. And he was going into all of the things that sounded like an old ward committeeman boss.
Right.
Right? Which, quite frankly, me, Maze Jackson, I understand that better than the Robin Kelly component, which I think the Robin Kelly people are kind of emotional. It's like they're getting all mad. No fair! They're like, no fair! We want this to be an open and transparent process. Y'all realize this is the Democratic Party of Illinois at that?
That's when I was at the committeeman meeting once, and one of the committeemen from the north side stood up and said, we shouldn't endorse anybody. And I stood up and said, are you crazy? Why are we here? I could just go home or go back to my office.
Right. So what we're seeing right now, let me also let you know that Christina Castro, which was the Latina candidate, dropped out of the race and moved to Robin Kelly, along with Chuy Garcia moving to Robin Kelly. Very interesting in the split, though. Mike Madigan, who is the state central committeeman, and his co-state central committee woman, Silvana Tabares, who he made a state rep and then made an alderman, split with him on support. She aligned.
I was wondering if that you could split.
Yes. She aligned herself with Robin Kelly and Chuy Garcia and the Latinos, thus, in my estimation, clearly defining that she has now left the Madigan camp and the Latinos are congealing.
Right.
Right? I would not be surprised to see if they go after Lisa Hernandez, they go after Fred Crespo, they go after, be on the lookout for the traditional old school Latinos to find themselves under attack from the new left Latinos. In a Robin Kelly Democratic Party, and I think what, by Chuy Garcia pulling out of the race, not pulling out of the race, but casting his support with Robin Kelly, encouraging Christina Castro, and Silvana Tabares, thus making themselves players on the progressive side of the map, on the progressive side of the party. So now, Todd, you got to ask yourself, what happens? Right now, the race, so even when they pulled off, so now it's 44.28 Michelle Harris to 23.2% for Robin Kelly. Now, what I would suggest to you, Todd, is that if the Democratic Party for X number of years, for the last since 1990 something, when did they get rid of Gary? Whenever they took over, was it 92 or 96 when Madigan took over the Democratic Party of Illinois?
I believe it would be 96.
Okay. In 96, when he took over the Democratic Party of Illinois, he essentially made all of those people. Or not made them, but they all gave them his votes for all of that time. Mm-hmm. So in my estimation, they would lean more towards the old school than the new school. Like, yeah, you got the progressives that are reside in the North area, and now the Latinos are trying to cast their lot, because the only place really that the Latinos are going to be able to cast their lot to have a voice, in my estimation, would be with the progressives. Because if they come to the black side, black folks ain't giving up the space. They could probably talk Robin Kelly out of giving up our stuff. Michelle Harris ain't giving up nothing. Right? Then I saw this morning a Facebook ad from Jan Schakowsky for Robin Kelly. Now, I got to tell y'all, I don't know why I got a Facebook ad, and I don't know why they're advertising this race unless their plan is to besmirch or to use the next 4 years to embarrass the party. In the public light, right? I don't know why Jan Schakowsky is running Facebook ads when the people that vote, it's only 30-something people that get to vote.
Right.
So they're trying to win this in the court of public opinion. And it's funny to me, we're going to talk about this a little bit later, because I wonder how much longer an association with Madigan will go from helpful. I think it's gone from helpful to neutral to harmful. Mm-hmm. And I think Michelle Harris is probably going to be the person that gets in under the wire, right? Because there's going to be a point. I think that what we're seeing right now is the progressive wing setting up the using Madigan because Madigan campaign that the Republicans used. See, I don't understand why are they talking about an open and transparent process. This is the State Central Committee. If there's ever a place where it's not supposed to be open and transparent, it's the State Central Committee.
Right.
As a Democrat, they know that, but as a progressive, they are always willing to throw you under the bus to appear to the left of you.
Right.
Right? And so now when they get in space, remember, this is the same. Do y'all remember when we played that tape from Tony Preckwinkle's pocket?
Oh, yeah.
And wasn't it Dick Durbin, Jan Schakowsky? There was a whole crew of white liberals who were conspiring against my beautiful and lovely wife that were teamed up with black people to try and stop the black woman from voting for that the white people were calling black people to tell them why they shouldn't vote for the black person.
Right.
This is the same group, the progressives. Now, the key here is, where do we as black people fit? So this Democratic Party they're battling over essentially is a battle over who's going to be able to convince the black people to come with us. Because the white folks already know where they sit.
Mm-hmm.
But there is the belief that this person that leads the Democratic Party with this ceremonial title will symbolically bring or deliver the black vote to whatever faction of the party wins. Now, are we more in line with Robin Kelly and Dick Durbin? Or are we more in line with Michelle Harris and J.B. Pritzker? Now, as black people, not as members of the Democratic Party, because we're not members of the Democratic Party. We're Democratic voters. We're not members. So now my question becomes, are you going to be looking for a Democratic Party that brings you the white liberal or the black person, the black progressive? Or are we looking for or are we siding with the Democratic Party that brings you a black traditionalist, a regular Democrat? And I would tell you that we haven't fared well with either one. If you think about 40 years of Madigan, their hope is that the 40 years of Madigan will drive us into their hands. But we also know that the white progressives ain't got no love for us either. So my question becomes, where do black people, the real black voters, fall in this process? Todd. Am I making sense here? Because it seems like, again, they're trying to pick. They know they got to pick somebody black. They said, we can't take no black man because, we take a black man. Black men, I think they're trying to extinct us anyway. They don't want no black men.
Right.
So now the Democratic Party, as it fights to re-engage black folks, picks a party leader that leans either progressive or regular. But we've not fared well with either one of them, so where does that leave us as black people? But I don't know if I'm going with the progressives. But I don't know. Todd, you tell me, where does that leave us?
Well, Mace, I tend to fall on the side of the
regulars.
The regulars, right, because basically I don't trust the progressives at all. And I know that on the regular side, if there's one thing that I've seen through the regular side is you can go to the regulars and say, hey, we're all in this together. So I got to get something out of this. There's got to be something for people who look like me. On the progressive side, I just don't see that ever happening. So I'm not really with the progressives.
I feel like on the progressive side, they feel like it's all of us together. We're all in this, people. I feel like I think the challenge for us on the regular side is we've never made demands. We've always said, what does Madigan want? Right? So or what does Burke want? Or I don't think we've ever in my recent life experienced being in a position of power on the regular side, and then all of the power that we could have collected over this time that we've had has been in the hands of a black progressive who has spent more time coalition building and utilizing that power to align themselves with the Schakowskis of the world who, when it came down to Lori, could deliver nothing. Like if I'm Tony Preckwinkle, the progressives ain't got nothing for me. Y'all left me, like we did not see any of them stand up against Lori Lightfoot for her, and they didn't win she won no precincts. She won 10 precincts across the whole city.
Well, I'm sure I've said this some years back, but, I think even though Tony has always been a progressive, she's also been in the regular camp. She's had her foot in, but not completely in. And she literally thought that the progressives were going to go after her and maybe defeat her as alderman. But then, things change. And now she's completely in that camp, but she still has ties to the old school because she's been around so long.
Well, I'm going to tell you just like this. I just feel like Tony Preckwinkle, let me back up. I think that they are battling. There's a proxy war for black people happening right now. And I don't feel like either party, either candidate necessarily has the track record with black folks to do what the white folks are hoping that they can do, if that makes sense. So, I tend to think of the party chairman being someone who has the resources, knowledge, and is battle tested, right? So that in the case that there is a skirmish, they can deploy troops and save whatever place, right? So I think of the chairman of the party.
I'd say in my lifetime, I shouldn't say my whole lifetime, the lifetime that I actually paid attention, which is probably somewhere either in the late 80s, that just wasn't the party chairman. The party chairman was never in the county. Well,
but the county and the party is
or
different.
The state.
So Madigan, though, I would say that Madigan. Oh, go ahead.
Until Madigan got there.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, Madigan's a totally different animal than most of the politicians.
What's the job, though?
The job is more of raising money, coalescing, and trying to push the ticket through the state. I mean, that's really the job of this is partisan stuff.
So understanding that, right? I always think of the party. Like, to me, the person that I want to lead me is the person that I know is battle tested, right? So it makes sense to me. Now, Madigan only used his power for the House. He didn't necessarily use it. I remember when he was running the Democratic Party and it was Rod Blagojevich and he had the coordinated campaign. That was the Lisa Madigan account as well, right? The state party account went to wherever he wanted it to go. But I will tell you that when I listened to JB talk about what he was looking forward to, like, I haven't seen or do we have any ward organizations now that can send you people? Remember when it was a time, like, that's how I got in the game. Like, Mr. White and Alderman would be like, we're going to send you our young Democrats. And then I would marshal up a force and we go into an area and they'd be like, this is how many votes we got to get and we got to win. Like, do we have that anymore?
I would say that there are some, but, you know.
Are there any black, like, do you, between Harris and Robin Kelly, are they like warlords?
I would guess that Michelle Harris would be able to get more people together than Robin Kelly, because congressmen
don't got nothing here.
That's traditionally why congressmen don't ever lead anything, because they don't have any real troops, you know. So the local politician has to have people with feet on the ground all the time.
Yep. See, I think that it's interesting to me to watch, because I think it's really a popularity contest. It's an internal popularity contest that the progressives are trying to make an external one. And they are trying to leverage the external.
That's what they try to make everything external.
Right. The progressives are looking to make this race public and try and turn it into a referendum, right? And trying to embarrass JB and all types of different pieces to try and get their person to the place. When really, like, we're talking about this and not one of us gets a vote on it. Not one of us gets a vote on it. So you got to recognize what's happening right now, which is they are trying to use the court of public opinion. And one of the things that I'm gonna watch in this, because, you know, like when they broke down the race in the Sun-Times, they said, and Michelle Harris got the endorsement of, what did they call Mike Madigan? Hold on. She got the endorsement of the scandalized Mike Madigan, right? So I think this is going to probably be the last race where an association with Madigan is helpful, because I think that, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later. I'm starting to notice that they're putting adjectives in front of Mike Madigan's name now, like, and it ain't speaker. And right. It ain't representative. And they are, in my estimation, beginning the grave spitting.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They are now starting to...
Geez, I wouldn't say grave spitting.
Well, I'm going to say...
I say tarnishing.
Well,
grave
no.
Grave spitting means that you're dead, right?
Well, I'm going to say that... I'm going to talk to you about this off the record, but this is a slippery slope. Like, I don't know how these things go, and man, Todd.
Well, one thing we have to remember, that all districts aren't equal, because this is the weighted vote.
100% agree. And I think that they've already counted the votes, right? I think all this suspense that we got going on right now, I'm going to remain in the camp that the Democratic Party of Illinois is not going to be interested in being directed by national politicians. Like, I just don't think that, as much as Chewy Garcia has influence in the area, nobody is going to Chewy, Robin Kelly, or Dick Durbin, in my estimation, because when have they been on the ground in the state?
Right.
They don't necessarily. It's like, you don't look like me. Like the rest of everybody else that's voting as state central committee men and women and whatever, they're voting based on the fact that man, we've been in these trenches together. Now, I'm gonna say that the party has dissolved and the trenches ain't the same, and the way that they're fighting isn't, but they still have a semblance of that. And I don't feel like national politicians, especially Durbin, who has, in my estimations, in a lot of cases, been interfering in state politics or be looking at meddling in state politics from a distance, but not really ever wanting to step up because he knew Madigan would slap him down. And now seeing that this is his chance to kind of needle his way in, I just don't know. I think about Barack Obama. Like, we didn't win. We have not won with Durbin. We haven't. And I also think that all of that cutting out Andrea Zopp and you can call Afrostocracy, you can do all that stuff you want to, but Durbin was very conniving in the way that he moved Tammy Duckworth into the slot.
Yeah, he was good at it.
That was Barack Obama's seat that became, so the first black U.S. Senate seat, we didn't even get a chance to defend the crown. It's the Mays Jackson Show. When we come back, speaking of defending the crown, we're going to talk about the Secretary of State's race. I meant to talk about this last week, but there's so much going on. We got people declaring. And I guess it's time to put the cards on the table. Let's talk about it. It's the Mays Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Mays Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
This is Tori Muhammad, and we want you to tune in to the Tori Muhammad Show that airs here on What's in It for the Black People Media every Monday and Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We talk and celebrate Black-owned businesses, Black entrepreneurs, and we talk to some of the best people in the food industry here in Chicago, Black chefs, Black restaurateurs. So make sure that you tune in to us every Monday and Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at the Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality Black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe Black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Yeah, man. Ideas, man. Ideas. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free. Let's go. Standing my ground, I can't mess around now. It's like my time is in a bottle, captured by your love, yeah. Now I know women's got this thing going on. We can't stay around so long, but I wanna come correct. Baby, get your foot off my neck. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. Understand clearly, yeah, that you wanna be free. It's the time that you spend making me think within. Is the trust still beginning? Fade away from beginning of the day. I can see you trembling times, and I can see you wondering mine. Is it me considered? It's you that's with it. See, you don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind thee. So clear to see, baby, that you wanna be free.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Todd, I done decided to open up the doors. We are now on Instagram Live as well.
Hooray.
The people are looking at you. They looking at me. They say, what up, Sonia? It is the Maze Jackson Show, so you can watch us on Facebook Live, YouTube Live. You can watch us on Instagram. You can also watch us on Twitch. You can also watch us on Periscope. I'm about to open up a LinkedIn as well. Shout out to Goddess. Shout out to Erica Mean. Shout out to my girl, Erica Jerk. I ain't going to say your real name because then you'll be mad. But shout out to all the black folks out here doing it. All right, y'all, it's time to talk about, I see my president. Hey, Madam President. Don't be mad at me. I got you breakfast or lunch or dinner. I apologize. But I'm putting it down for us. I'm putting it down. All right, look, y'all. It's time to talk about the Secretary of State. So I've been really avoiding this conversation, but I think that it is about time that we have this conversation. If Ruthie Moore was here, we would be talking about the transition plan. She is always big on transitions. And we just saw, we saw a fumble of a transition. We saw what looked like a smooth transition turn into a fumble as Speaker Mike Madigan transitioned out of the speaker's position. So, did we offend him again?
Shucks.
I think we got him. I think we're back. So anyway, Todd, it is now time to talk about the Secretary of State leaving. Now, can I tell you, honestly, I'm going to probably be in trouble for this. But in full honesty, I thought that Secretary of State would retire and then hand it off to our good friend, Alderman Burnett, who has been his loyal right hand for 20 years. Apparently, Alderman Burnett does not want the handoff. And with
kiss of death.
Why you say it's a kiss of death? The handoff?
Mm-hmm.
Because then people be mad at you because you took it, and then they say, get him.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you,
How did everybody else get their position?
Right. Nobody said that. Okay, so.
Not like that. It's different. If he handed it off maybe to somebody who wasn't his
mentee.
Right. and lived somewhere else, that it may work. But that's just too close. The world will descend on him, especially the liberal world.
Like you. That's kind of what happened to you.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Like
So I guess, Todd, you know what, Todd? So then it makes me say, okay, well, if that's the case, then who's up next? Let me be clear. So Anna Valencia, current city clerk, has entered into the race, formed an exploratory committee in the event that Secretary of State does not run again, which it does not look like he's going to run again.
Mm-hmm.
Alexi Janulius, former state treasurer, has also put his name in, has resurrected his political career, and is now putting his name in. Now, we currently do not have a black candidate in the race. We saw Alderman Pat Dow of the 3rd Ward put her name in the race. Now, let me say what I'm going to do here. Y'all know I got, I be having issues with people. But I'm going to try to call this as straight as possible, okay? So I'm gonna do my best to call this straight as possible. So I'm gonna try and remove the name calling and all of that stuff, and we just gonna assess for real, okay? Like I'm gonna do my best. Now I might add a little color commentary every once in a while, but I do think that we got some important things going on, and so I think we need to talk about it. So now the job with the most positions, the most jobs, the most kind of like the highest profile job that will be up and available is the Secretary of State besides the governor's race.
Right.
It does not look like Jesse White is running. We have a white Greek man and a Latina running. We have, for the highest position, we have no black candidate currently in the space. Now, Alderman Pat Dowell of the 3rd Ward has now mentioned that since Alderman Burnett is not going for the spot, that she is going to form an exploratory committee. I will give her props for respecting the fact that she called Jesse White's mentee and said, are you going to go for the spot before I put it in, before I go after it? So I got to respect that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the key right now that is happening amongst black people is that people are like, are we just going to do like Jesse White like we did Dorothy Brown? And now there is no Madigan candidate. So now they don't have a person to tell them who they should be going for. So it's now kind of a free-for-all.
Mm-hmm.
So here are the names that we've heard mentioned. And I want to do this again without trying to cause any shade to anybody. Clerk Karen Yarbrough. It's not been a secret for years. People have suggested that she wanted to go to the Secretary of State. That actually is the spot that Jesse White left to become the Secretary of State. Well, it was the Recorder of Deeds. Now she's the clerk. But
Right.
she started as the Recorder of Deeds. And that's also where Carol Mosley Brown came from, right?
Yep.
So that spot where Karen Yarbrough is right now, Clerk Karen Yarbrough is from, has been a launching pad for a variety of people. Correct?
It has.
Then we have heard
black people. At least.
Yes. We've also now heard, so now we've got Pat Dowell. We've heard the name Clerk Karen Yarbrough. We've also heard the name Treasurer Melissa Conyers Irvin. Who has, I would say, I don't want to say surprised, but she won as the treasurer. She was the state representative. I don't think that the clerk's position leads to being the mayor, and she takes a shot at it. So right now, we have in the mix for the black candidates, Clerk Karen Yarbrough, Alderman Pat Dowell, currently, as well as potentially Treasurer Melissa Conyers Irvin. Are they viable contenders? Will they have the campaign, the money, the organization, the ability, and the wherewithal to campaign across the state? Now, can I be honest with you? I'm going to get in trouble. But I'm going to do it anyway.
The state?
Statewide. But here's the reality. For J.B. Pritzker, it's important that he have Jesse White carried all 102 counties. So you got some fall off from that. JB is in a challenge right now. And so he's got to have somebody that can kick butt in the northwest part of the state. Not northwest, northeast. Chicago, suburbs, and then in St. Clair County. So my guess is if there is a person running in that spot right now, he's going to want to have a black woman. I don't know if Anna Valencia gives him what he wants. And let's also be clear that Anna Valencia becomes a proxy for Dick Durbin again. Because she is a Durbin. She came from Dick Durbin. Downstate, Coal City, took advantage of open space and is now vying to be that spot. Dick Durbin is playing, right? He's got access to money. He's got access to relationships. She's been building. She's created the city key card, which allows Latinas to while maybe not even speaking no shade, she has started to build a base over the course of, because she really comes from no one locally, which seems to be a plus nowadays, right? Then you got Alexi Janulius, who has probably infinite money because the Greek community is all over it. Yeah. He's run statewide. He's won statewide. He's got the Barack Obama effect. And quite frankly, he's got the young black effect too. Because remember, he was Barack's basketball player, but his campaign consultant is also very successful winning black men into getting black men in office. Mm-hmm. So in the event that there is no viable black candidate, you could easily see a variety of popular statewide and local black men getting in the camp just because of the fact of who they all share as a consultant. Right? So now I got to say, I'm going to get in trouble, but I'm going to do it anyway. So we think that we need a black woman to run. I think JB is going to be looking for that. May I add a different name to the mix? Okay, so let's talk about Karen Yarbrough. She's party loyalist, won statewide, not statewide, countywide. Question, turns out votes, party loyalist. I'm nervous because of the Madigan taint in a statewide campaign. Okay. Pat Dow, City of Chicago alderman. I don't know how popular aldermen are outside of their wards when you're running a campaign, and I think somebody easily gets to body slam you as being part of the most corrupt city in right?
Right.
Then we go to our treasurer. I think Melissa Conyers-Irvin has a bright I really loved her commercials. I think she's got a bright personality. And she has access to a lot of bankers, so she could be a viable candidate. But I'd also like to just mention one other person. Manages close to a $2 billion budget.
Leadership, okay.
Has what did I say? $2.3 billion budget, 2,300 employees, police force, largest wastewater treatment facility in the world, chemist, gotten over 1 million votes in Cook County, run countywide successfully, dominant, clearly not hard on the eyes. President Carrie K. Steele. Now I know that again. The reality.
You said that hard on the eyes. I was sure you're going to say me.
But the key is, and I'm clear that I'm biased. But I think we got to start thinking about our future and putting the best foot forward. Now, I think we would be completely inept if we do not field a black candidate for the Secretary of State race. And that we find someone that we can all get behind. Right? So that's why you've heard y'all know how I have not body slammed any of the candidates, but I do not believe that we should leave that position on the table and not put our best foot forward to win. And so I just think you all have got to really start thinking about what is our future, what is our succession plan. Now, I'm going to tell you, I think the president is busy trying to make sure that this flood water gets away and that we all have safe and clean drinking water and that the lake stays clean, right? Make sure you get the water up out your house.
Right.
Stay out your basement. And so I'm not offering that. But what I am going to tell you is that we have to be intentional. Think about this. Right now, Anna Valencia is collecting black women support for the Secretary of State's office with no black woman in the race. We are leaving our future in the hands of other people. Let me tell you this. I'll support Karen Yarbrough. I'll support Pat Dow. I'll support Melissa Conyers-Irvin. I'll support Carrie K. Steele first. Or whoever we decide as a group in the primary that we're going to support. Because essentially, in my estimation, if we don't field a candidate, we just give up that space. And while white folks have built organizations right? What's her name, Anna? City Key. Remember, think about all of these things that are now falling into place. We've removed citizen from our vocabulary. Like, who are we going to intentionally select to be our nominee? James, I'm not even going to hate on nobody, but I'm going to tell you what, if we wake up and we have think about this right now. Has anybody heard what's going on over at the clerk's office? Clerk of the circuit court? Call a black person you know. They probably at home because they're getting fired. And it's like we may talk about all of the things we don't care for or like about Jesse White, but what we do know is that there are black people working.
Oh, we know that.
And you can't deny that. And just to watch 5,000, watch the power of that office. That's the state librarian. He got all that stock exchange. Like, understand the power that's there. Y'all looking at driver's licenses. Think about every lease. And so as we think about this, are we really going to let dysfunction prevent us from actually fielding a candidate? Like, honestly. And who is our best candidate? Not are we saying, let's just throw somebody up. Who can we get people around? Who can mobilize people? Who is the candidate that is, again, without the flaws? You know how we do candidates and we like, man, yeah, they'll be good, but they'll just forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Can we be intentional? If there wasn't an intentional plan, can we, I'm a big fan of Alderman Burnett, right?
Oh, yeah.
I still feel like Alderman Burnett should be the Secretary of State. I know. And I think JB should make it happen. But that's a whole nother story. I think we live in a time now where the only people asking for permission are black people. The white people, Alexi Janulius, with all of his issues, like, I'm out. I'm up. Anna Valencia. Like, where do you come from, Mom? Like, you don't got, like, and feels entitled. And clearly, who is going to check me, boo?
Right.
So let me be clear. I'm not trying to stop nobody. I'm just saying, can we figure out who we going to put up and do the work to do it? Like, again, be honest, the Secretary of State's race is going to cost about $10 million. $10 million. A lot of people playing heavy stakes. Do we want who we know in the Dick Durbin camp? What do we know about Anna Valencia? What do we know about Alexi Janulius? I'm not tripping, because if we got to pick one of them, I'm going to pick one. But I sure would love for y'all to help us pick somebody that would, maybe, you know what I'm thinking? So here's what I'm going to say again. In the effort of transparency, I would welcome Alderman Dow. I would welcome Karen Yarbrough. I would welcome Melissa Conyers-Irvin. I would welcome President Kerry. I would welcome any black person that is interested credibly in running for that position so that we can at least have this conversation. Like right now, just by not having the conversation, we're just giving them times to stack up. I mean, think about it. Lauren Underwood, and I don't know who cares about Lauren Underwood, but in a statewide race, because we're thinking local, that counts in Naperville.
Right.
So are we going to force Danny Davis and Bobby Rush to pick between Alexi and Anna? Are those our choices? As black folks? In the ADOS capital of the world? We can't find no black people from Chicago or Illinois? It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
I, Emmanuel Chris Welch,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the
Constitution of the State of Illinois.
I ain't gonna hold the fact that he's an alpha against him. I'm not gonna hold the fact he came on my show with this Northwestern, but we made Black history. The Illinois Speaker of the House Mr. Emmanuel Chris Welch. Mr. Speaker, welcome to What's in It for the Black People Media. How are you today, and how does it feel to be one of the most powerful men in the state of Illinois?
I couldn't miss this opportunity to come on your show and talk about this historic moment. I've recognized exactly what this means for our people. And it was Black people uniting. Women in our caucus kicked the door down. They kicked it down, but Black people united and walked right through the door. In my governing, I think it's realistic for people to expect us to continue to pursue some important legislation that's going to impact Black communities, because that's been my entire career. I look at things through an equity lens, a racial lens, specifically a Black lens. And now that we're ahead of the table, we're going to make sure that our communities receive the much needed resources that they need.
How do we actually get to participate now?
People may doubt what you say, but they believe what you do. And I'm in a position for the first time in the history of this state to help our community. And I want you to take a look at my actions and over the course of the next few months and see the answer to that very question. Want to see what's in it for the Black people? Watch my actions. I must thank 22 strong people for insisting that happened. Please acknowledge, respect, and thank the members of the Illinois House Black Caucus. Let's give them a round of applause.
What about my love? Seems you have forgotten love. I do believe that something went wrong somewhere. What about my feelings? Do they mean anything at all? You got me so in love, I'm too blind to see. And that you got my love, now you wanna put me down. And that you got my love, got me standing on shaky ground. What about it, baby? What about the days and the nights we spent? What about the love we made so sweet? Are you sure you wanna live? Think it over, baby. 'Cause girl, I believe, I think you just might wanna change your mind. Now that you got my love, you don't even come around. Now that you got my love, got me standing on shaky ground. Treat your man when I gave all that I never had. You got me going through changes of life with you. Are you sure you wanna live? Think it over, babe. 'Cause girl, I believe, I think you just might change your mind. Know that you got my love, you don't even come around. Now that you got my love, you got me standing on shaky ground. Yeah. Now that you got my love,
listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. Was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world! It's 8:09. Shake it off. Get ready to go. It is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Stroger. What's funny, man? You don't like the extended version?
Tango.
Gotta say what's up to Escobar in the building. What up, Sonia Escobar?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm looking all fresh and clean on. This iPhone camera for Instagram is off the check. So I'm Instagramming live and right now. Shout out to everybody that's watching me on Instagram. Shout out to everybody that's watching us on Facebook, YouTube, What's in It for the Black People Media, the Maze Jackson page. Hey, y'all, don't forget y'all can contribute. Please do not. So I went to church this week, Todd. They did not pass the offering plate, but it was a funeral.
However,
you
still got some Jesus.
Wow. Man, you know what? I really want to talk about church, but I'm not going to do it right now. I think I might start doing some lives. You say stick to the script. Sonya, like, you wrote this whole script. So do it. Yes, boss. All right. But can I back up, though, before I go forward? What's up with Secretary of State? Todd, give me your thoughts on the Secretary of State's race. Because, people say I don't let you finish a sentence, so I'm going to wait and let you finish a sentence.
Generally, I just try to talk over you. But I think it's a little early to tell, people. That's why Pat Dow said she's having an exploratory committee. She wants to see if she can raise any money. The problem with some offices is, no one wants to run and lose and find themselves out. So that makes it tough.
But that's a safe race, Todd. She doesn't run until the following year. So it would also be a great way for her to put her name out there. Actually, same thing for Alexi doesn't have a job. Actually, everybody who's running, with the exception of Karen Yarbrough,
doesn't have to worry about
doesn't have to worry about it. So Karen Yarbrough would have to worry about, because she got a sweet spot. And I also go ahead. So you finish. Keep going.
I mean, no, that's a good point. I don't think Karen Yarbrough would run, because you're right. She does have a sweet spot.
Yeah, she done consolidated both offices and now got all type of stuff going on.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Plus, she runs the election.
Yeah, she's doing well for herself right now.
Yes. All right. So then I got.
But there hasn't been a downstater yet, and I'm pretty sure somebody from downstate's gonna.
Yeah, but do you think that downstater is gonna be black? No.
If we can find them.
Who downstate? No, I
I'm
doubt.
just kidding. That's
right, but you know what I'm saying? And like a black downstater doesn't really help JB, right? So I think part of the reason that we're seeing all of this stuff happen, though,
Claiborne.
Well,
I mean, he's not running, but he would have been.
He Claiborne. I could see that. What I also see is that I think a lot of these people were putting their names in the hat in advance with the hopes that in the event that Jesse White doesn't stay for the rest of his term, right, that they could also be selected to get appointed into the spot, right? So, like they, like, say Anna would want in the event, because actually Jesse White doesn't pick. The governor picks.
Right.
So if Jesse White, this is all based on the speculation that if Jesse White was to step down and the governor was to pick, then,
in my opinion, it would be a downstater.
Why would he pick a downstater when he's already going to lose downstate?
So what? Still need some votes. Can't be fooling around.
Yeah, I doubt that. I think you got Mike Frericks. You bring him off the bench. You throw Susanna Mendoza under the bus. She's a liar anyway. Oh, I said I was going to do this thing straight. Well, she is a liar, so I guess I'm according to the money she took. But anyway, so Todd, I was just thinking that we as black people need to put a forum together? Like, should we weigh in on it? Like, should we do a straw poll?
If we do, we should do it now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying, like, because
you know how we like to wait.
Well, my point, and that's the thing, like, I feel like the black candidates are frozen. Like, they want to see if something is going to happen, and if, as compared to the white candidates I don't know, do we count Anna as white?
You know her much better than I do.
I don't. Well, Valencia. Okay, so we'll count that as, but I think she's in that, that in-between space. But I almost feel like
people would think of her Latino because of her name.
Yeah, I think so too.
Latina. Did I say that right?
Until you talk to the Latino. Because the other part that I got to ask is, are the Latinos with her? Right? Because she was a Ramophile. So now you got to also remember that the Latinx, right? She was a wholly owned Rahm Emanuel creation. So does Chewy Garcia and his group, does she pivot to them? Because she kind of at one point was claiming blackness almost. So does she then disavow, because I almost feel like Rahm Emanuel and Mike Madigan are going to be, you can put their name on somebody and hurt them if you have the ability, right? Like, because again, you could ask, did the clerk sign off on the Laquan signing, on the Laquan? Did she have to sign it? Doesn't the clerk have to sign everything?
Gee, that's possible.
So if I'm the clerk and I signed, and no, I'm just saying, like, if it's me and I'm the clerk and I'm running for, I'm going to say, did you ask any questions about Laquan McDonald? That would be my question. Like, did you know about Laquan? I mean, you were his governmental affairs chief, right? So I think, that to me becomes a problem for her. You got to know how to, see, but this is why.
I don't think most people even know. So you're saying she had a position in Mayor Emanuel's.
She was either government affairs or she was the clerk. And either one, some kind of way, you was involved. I mean, I'm just saying if you're trying to I'm saying we got to figure out the flaws and be able to make a path forward for our people.
You see, for me, it was like poof. And she popped up. And
exactly.
She was the clerk.
Exactly, but she didn't just pop up. She was his director of governmental affairs after being the senior advisor on the campaign.
Oh, okay.
Right? So she was in his inner circle.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got to, again, I'm not tripping, but I think these are all the factors that we have to examine before we just jump on board. Because I'm going to tell you that black folks, we don't look at none of that stuff. And I'm saying, can we at least, what I would love to do is field a candidate and then like all of our forces are working in the same direction. Right?
Right.
Like, you see how I just did that with the whole Anna thing?
Yeah.
Now, could you imagine taking somebody who got the money to turn that into an ad? To be like right now, to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just think about that.
Awareness, yeah.
Imagine if all the black forces were working together for one candidate in this case. That's why I'm not throwing no salt on nobody's candidacy. I'm just suggesting that. But here's the other thing that I think we got to be wary of. I would not be surprised if Alexi finances a black candidate. Or finances a black woman to be in the race.
Haven't seen that in a while.
Why? Because black woman, Latino woman, women vote split in the North. White guy walks in. I'm a multi-millionaire. I could do it. I just need you to get 12% of the black woman. I just need you, right? So now you got to figure out who's the horse in the race.
You probably know this better than I. How well did he do downstate last time he ran?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
I don't know, but I almost feel like he ran against, I want to say he was on that sweeper ticket. No, he was on the ticket where he won and Robin Kelly lost and David whatchamajigam lost.
Miller.
Right. When the party kind of sent up some sacrificial lambs.
Yeah, right.
Right. They was like, we're gonna make sure you win, and Barack. Remember?
Yeah.
It was the whole. And he. So Alexi's gonna pull the Barack card.
Mm-hmm.
Then we play basketball, etc. So my question now becomes, again, and Anna Valencia is clearly a Durbin Rom protege, DC.
Yeah. I can see that.
So now you got to ask yourself, where do we fit as black people in that equation? So now you've got to also ask the question of what black person gets in the race that is going to be pure to the win, not to the back end. Because anybody that runs right now, it's a safe race. But the moment that Anna declares, somebody needs to declare that they running for city clerk. And anybody that step up, they need to have somebody, unless we as black folks are working together, the moment you announce for Secretary of State, we got to ask you the question, are you doing this? Is the Secretary of State a bust, or are you faking? Remember, this happened to us with Tony and Susanna. Remember? They had us all hyped up, and then they turned around, and they didn't get it. So I'm just suggesting.
You just said something I almost forgot.
What?
You think Susanna might run?
No, Susanna's a criminal. Like, doesn't she have a criminal investigation going on? Or no, she doesn't. But wasn't she wasn't the organ? Okay, let me back up. She's not a criminal. But I do feel like we read about her and vendor assistance program, and she took $100,000 campaign contribution when they thought she was going to be the mayor from the General Iron. So why? I think she wants to stay under the radar. She's going to, let me tell you what Susanna's going to do. She's going to find some obscure issue and have 3 million press releases on it to pretend like she's for the people. Just like she did the whole, I'm going to sponsor a bill to make sure that kid doesn't get the money for 3 days, even after he said didn't want the money, but she wanted to have a whole press conference. She's going to be about generating publicity for herself as a fighter, even after Sonia Feinman. I mean, because I need for y'all to be clear, right? Like, this is the other part. We got to remember a lot of these people are going to be shedding their Madigan-ness. So when you think about Susanna, you got it? When you think about Susanna trying to run for Secretary of State, you got to remember this is what she said about the scandalized Mike Madigan. Go.
It's also my sincere honor to second the nomination of Michael J. Madigan for Speaker of the Illinois House of Representatives. I've had the privilege to serve under his unparalleled leadership for 10 years now, only a quarter of the time that Illinois has benefited from his almost 40 years of stewardship. Over the last decade, I have witnessed his skills as a leader and a man who time and time again has demonstrated his passion and love for this state and has consistently put Illinois first. His work ethic is unmatched. He is steeped in discipline, laser-focused, and impossible to unnerve. He's a brilliant politician, tactician, and public servant, and a great man whose commitment to Illinois is only matched
Susanna.
by that to his family.
Run? I'm
While
playing
many
this
may
speech
aspire
every
to be
day
like
she
him,
does.
there is only one Michael J. Madigan. Someday our children will learn of his contributions to this state and to the Democratic Party.
He stole and robbed us
led
blind.
his government in ridding our state of a corrupt governor.
But not himself.
They'll also know of his unwavering commitment to the members of his caucus, both past and future. His is the stuff that legends are made of. We've had the opportunity to serve, grow, and more importantly, learn from him in these daunting times. But
like
now,
Jesus.
more than ever, we need him to lead us again. Every news outlet, media pundit, and know-it-all out there had this election cycle pegged as the year that the Democrats would lose control of the House. They blamed the Speaker for everything from a pothole in the streets of Chicago to the collapse of this state's financial security. And while we did experience some losses, I would submit that the only reason we Democrats maintained our majority is because of Michael J. Madigan. While panic mode was prevalent among many, it was never an option for the Speaker. He brought calm, discipline, his immeasurable knowledge of the system, and his steel nerve, directing the elections that afforded us the opportunity to be here, in control of the House and ready to move Illinois forward. And as always is the case, Michael J. Madigan proved the naysayers wrong, delivering for his team and for all of Illinois. Because of Michael J. Madigan's leadership, Illinois is an oasis of blue in a desert of red. Every single state that we border saw their majorities go from Democrat to Republican. Illinois is the lone exception, and we owe that success to Michael J. Madigan. There is only one person who embodies all of the leadership qualities that Illinois needs at this tenuous time in our history, and only one person who has the combined expertise, know-how, and the intestinal fortitude to get the job done. There is no close second, not even close. I, for one, am thankful to the Speaker for his leadership and for what he's done for each and every one of us. He's earned our respect and continued support, and that is why today I am particularly honored to second the nomination of Michael J. Madigan for Speaker of the Illinois House of the 97th General Assembly. Thank you.
Todd, you were saying about winning Susanna. Wait a minute, hold on. Oh my God, thank you, Michael Madigan. You saved the world. You slayed the dragons. I can't wait until the textbooks are released and my children can learn all about you. That you, hey, dog.
I think it's always incredible that people think that anybody is going to ever remember an Illinois Speaker of the House.
Well,
I think most people have even forgotten Willie Brown was around, and he was only around for 15 years, but it seemed like forever.
Hey, did you hear that speech?
Oh, she was all in it.
She was all in it. So I'm just telling you, do we play that? Like, I'm telling you now. I really don't even think after that speech we should even did we have the other clip of her? Don't you got the clip from GN? Get the GN clip. Because we got to talk about no, you cannot run. She cannot be a candidate. And this is the thing I'm saying right now for black folks. We got to not be looking at people for candidates and saying, let's ignore. You don't have it? You just had it last week. Ignore. We like to ignore the elephant in the room and pretend like nobody's going to see that. And then they exploit it. Right? And so all I'm saying is, when we think about who we're going to put up for, not who thinks they're the best candidate. Like, we need to have a forum for Secretary of State. And the reason that I'm not going to body slam anybody in it is because whoever that person is needs to be able to count on not being cut in the back by the black people.
Right.
Because the answer is going to be, right now, can I tell y'all right now? They're already trying to buy black people so that they can, I'm just telling you now. Do you know how many times people have sent me stuff to remind me about Pat Dow? No, really. Like, it's so funny to me to watch now, like, the people who were not cool with me trying to exploit what they believe is my anger with people.
Uh-huh.
Right? Like, so, dear white guy, I know that you can go to the black people and then get them to do me. But dear white guy, you can't come to me to get me to go do the black lady.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it myself. But you, sir, or ma'am, cannot. But just in case anybody was ever thinking about, if you ever say something crazy about this woman trying to run for Secretary of State, I need Susanna, right? Because we trying to find a black candidate. But if you do, just in case y'all forgot, Sonia.
Well, if Danny Solis is accused of any wrongdoing, you better believe I will not return every penny, but I will donate every penny to charity, yes.
Today, she did just that. Candidate for Chicago Mayor Susana Mendoza gave away $141,550 in campaign contributions received from Alderman Danny Solis and a firm founded by Solis's sister, Patty. In a statement, Mendoza said her value system dictated that she give away the money.
After she took
Solis is reportedly under a federal microscope and agreed to wear a wire secretly recording conversations with Alderman Ed Burke, who is facing a criminal extortion charge.
Who's nominating her?
Danny Solis's 25th Ward
Inside or
organization
outside?
Gave Mendoza more than $55,000 last March. Mendoza also collected contributions from Vendor Assistance Program, a firm founded by Patty Solis Doyle and Brian Hines, an attorney. Vendor Assistance Program purchases unpaid state vendor account receivables and then keeps the late fees. There's big money involved. Documents show VAP made $1.6 million in the third quarter of last year. As State Comptroller, Mendoza is responsible for deciding which bills get paid and when. But in accepting Vendor Assistance Program's money, Mendoza says she does not see a conflict of interest.
I've been very transparent as to my relationships. All of my contributions have been legal. I would never do anything contrary to that.
Mendoza is trying to shift the conversation to Tony Preckwinkle and the $116,000 she received from an Ed Burke fundraiser.
She denied receiving a $10,000 contribution.
Look over there!
Complain about it after a criminal complaint was actually filed and exposed by the FBI.
A Preckwinkle spokeswoman says she's in the process of returning the Burke money. Also tonight, new information about the Burke office raid. Records show the FBI was looking for information showing Burke sought work for his private law firm in exchange for city council votes. They also wanted to know if Burke was trying to gain patronage jobs for personal associates. Also, folders were taken with information related to Brian Hines. The Mendoza campaign points out the vendor assistance.
We're not going to talk about we ain't going to take the clip of her talking about how great. Remember, she did the same thing for Burke, remember? You got that one too?
Well, no, but
you got it. Find it. I'm sure you got it because remember, she did the whole thing about. Right, remember she was lucky. They did a fundraiser and at Burke's house, and then wound up winning a honeymoon for her and her husband to Ireland.
The luck of the Irish.
Yeah. Gosh.
What are you talking about? Irish. How does this now?
Quite early in the morning.
But just think about this: that whole VAP thing. If somebody black would have did that, Joe, jail
time,
jail. So I'm gonna slow down the payments. So you can charge them, and then you get the juice. Mm-hmm. And then once you sign the contract, then we'll let the payments go. It seems like the same thing Madigan was doing. Seems like the same thing Burke was doing with the driver's license. With the garage permit. The driveway permit. It's like she learned from the best. You really want to put her in charge of driver's licenses? Really? You really want her to be in charge of the securities exchange?
Sounds like she's gonna have trouble
my goodness.
with this office.
Shoot.
Trying to get this back.
Man, she was with Bert. The whole murderers row, she was with them all. Like, realistically, Todd, we should run. Oh, I thought we said we was going to run Susie. Ruthie.
Ruthie, yeah.
Ruthie. So, could we get the signatures for Ruthie to get on the ballot against Susanna Mendoza?
I will be canvassing.
Okay, I'm with it. Y'all with it?
I'm
I'm
sure
just
we could
saying.
do it.
And what are we thinking about? Well, see, what we could do is we could put our own Secretary of State. We could put our own ballot together and put our own people on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we could draft our own candidacy. But I'd rather be in sync with the black people. Therefore, what do y'all think is the best way to decide who the black person that black people want to be for the Secretary of State should be?
Bid whist.
A bid whist tournament?
Yep.
Bid whist, the baddest bid whist player
You
gets
can
to
show it. Bam.
boasted. All right, y'all. Look, we're going to talk about that. And then when we come back, Todd, there's two things I want to know. How much longer, let me back up. Two things I want to know when we close out this show. First, how much longer can Madigan, before Madigan is truly a liability? And secondly, what do we do when white folks are ready to go back to sleep and they're tired of being woke? Because I don't know if you saw Bill Maher this week.
No. Yeah.
Well, I kind of like Bill Maher. I stopped watching him after he did the whole whatchamajigam thing, the nigga thing. Excuse me, ninja thing. But
yeah.
I was watching him and what's the white girl that got in trouble for the sexual harassment at Fox? Megyn Kelly. And they were lamenting about white people being under attack.
I bet.
And the whole woke culture and people getting fired because canceled and fired though because of their unwillingness to you know the story, you know the guy about Dancing with the Stars and The Bachelor, and he defended the girl who dressed up like an old South Belle of the Ball. So basically she went to an antebellum party. So you know back in the South, the fraternities and sororities throw these antebellum balls, which is like remind them of the good old days of the South. And one of the bachelorettes on The Bachelor attended and dressed, and she got in trouble for it. And one of the guys defended it. And Bill Maher and Megyn Kelly talked about that, and they were talking about the fact that white folks, like, it wasn't their fault. Like, and why do they need to apologize for everything that happened in this new woke culture? And I'm just telling y'all, white folks are getting tired of y'all. They're getting tired. And you better get it all out now. Who do we need to get before it's over? That's part of this whole Madigan question I got. We'll talk about it more when we come back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at the Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
Peace,
Peace, everybody out there. What's going on? This is Eugene McIntosh, one half of the illest independent sports media outlet in the whole entire land, the Bigs. Check me and my player partner, Terrence Tomlin, a.k.a. T-Tom the Great, out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. on What's in It for the Black People Media Network.
WIFTBPN. I think that the black community is starting to realize the mayor may not necessarily be an ally just because she is black.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio.
Our representatives don't necessarily get a pass just because they're black. We've got a challenge in the black part of Chicago of holding black politicians accountable.
You're listening to The Maze Jackson Show.
This is Chicago, so I understand the Chicago way. I ask every day what's in it for the black people.
With Maze Jackson.
Come on, y'all.
Oh yeah, Chicago, it's your man, Mace Jackson. I'm your host, got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Sonia Escobar in the building. Check us out, y'all. We are on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Instagram Live. We are on Twitch Live, and soon we're going to be on... Sonia, was that a Twitch I saw you do? Yeah, check that out. We are doing our thing, so shout out to everybody that's tuned in to us. I'm going to say a couple what's ups real quick. Shout out to Diane Wilson, Roddy. Shout out to Kimmy Jones. Shout out to Rhonda Regina. Shout out to LaVon McGee. Shout out to Demetrius Thomas. Shout out to Brent Collins. Yep, all of them. Shout out to my man VB Invincible over on Instagram. Who rocking with us on Instagram? I don't know who Njomo is. Oh, Rhonda Regina. You can't be leaving both of them. You got to open them all up. Shout out to Coco Brick, C. Wade. Shout out to Culture of Black Chicago, Dwight Henderson, Daddy's Promise. I don't know what that is, man. Y'all got these crazy Instagram names. Sweet Cheesecake. What? Sweet. What up, Aaron DeGroot? Son of Seals in the building. I wonder, is that Anton? The Way 68, Right Out of Danger Films. Check that out, y'all. Also, I'm going to get the YouTubers, too. Give me a second, YouTubers. I got to find you. Todd, what you looking about over there, man? You looking funny.
I don't remember if I told you to stop me. But you remember when I told you about when Daryl Moody wouldn't give me a ride?
Yep.
I didn't tell you why that was probably one of the best days of my high school career, I don't think.
Because Lola Falana picked you up instead?
No, because Homer and Lenny took the bus home with me.
That ain't that the best? When your people stick with you, they be like, oh, you going to play my guy?
They stuck with me.
Man, it's hard to find people to stick with you, right? Especially if they got a cool car. Shout out to Jerome Williams. What up to Akmal, Abdul, Alim, Akeem. Shout out to Sheila, Waymo Flyer. Shout out to Eves V. Look, y'all, what's going over? Oh, okay, I'm going the wrong way. Hey, man, this YouTube is something else. I'm going to connect y'all all up one of these days. Todd?
Yeah?
So I'm going to move on. Hey, Dana, it's you, Dana. What's the community 606-3218? Y'all doing too much, man. Shout out to DJ Chip. Shout out to my man, Representative Cam Buckner. Hey, man, why don't you come in here and sit in with us a couple of these days, man? We out of here, even though, it'll be a lot of testosterone up in this piece. But Representative Cam Buckner doing his thing for us down in... Hey, y'all got to watch that guy. Keep an eye on him. We got to get them in here. Shout out to Darian, making it happen. All right, y'all. Todd, I got to ask the question.
Mm-hmm.
How much longer does Madigan have in Illinois? And when I say how much more time does he have in Illinois, what I mean by that is it seems as though he is without his crown and scepter. And what's the other thing? What's the crown, scepter? Like you got the ball and the...
Oh, you mean the royal thing?
No, it's the orb. A king got the orb. It's like it's the ball with the cross on top of it. And they got like the...
That's very Catholic. I don't think that's for every king.
Okay, well, basically, Madigan done gave up all his crowns.
Mm.
And it's like I said earlier, it's like I spit on your grave. It seems as though Get my gong ready. Get my gong ready. It seems as though, just like Moses when he was kicked out of Egypt, the Democrats said, Michael Madigan, may your name be removed from the halls of the Illinois House of Representatives as Speaker. Michael.
Was that a Jamaican?
Michael J. Madigan is in the name of Shaka Zulu. Michael J. Madigan, may your name be removed as state representative of the 13th Ward, whatever district it is. Michael J. Madigan, may your name be removed as the chairman of the Democratic Party of Illinois. Michael J. Madigan, may you now walk amongst the mere mortals. And the closer he gets to human and no longer the wizard, Todd, it seems as though the George Dunn story that you told is becoming realer and realer. You know, now it used to be, even the newspapers used to be like the powerful, they used to have these really crazy descriptions that were always like reverent. Like they might be a little nice, nasty, but they ain't never want no problems because they was scared he was going to have the press voted out of Illinois.
Right. We don't want no problem.
We don't want no problem. Nobody wanted problems with Mike Madigan. Nobody. Now it seems like being aligned with Mike Madigan can actually be a problem for you. And I'm curious to know, Todd, how much longer do you think he has before, when you say you were with Mike Madigan, that you then are like a Me Too'er? Right? Like, there was a time when you could walk around and you were Madigan and you were a Madigoon. And they walked around and they was like, it's almost like being part of Nazi Germany, being like a soldier in Germany, right? And then after Hitler is gone, then everybody be like, I wasn't in that.
Or I was just obeying orders.
I was just obeying orders to steal all the black people money.
Yeah, I think, well, of course, that's not going to be, a cry anymore. I'm a Madigoon. Well, I don't think that's exactly what they call themselves, but they're not going to be doing that anymore. But, they'll probably be playing with each other for as long as they can.
So my question now becomes, though, how long does it take before being associated with Mike Madigan is a bad thing? Do you think it's a bad thing yet?
I think for some, maybe of the lower level people, it'll be a bad thing. But I think for some of the higher level people who've been there and whatever they're doing
and won
and been, they've been whatever they've been for a period of time, that they will just get a pass and they'll just start ignoring all the rest of the Madigan people, like they're not part of the group.
So now when your phone ring, you ain't gonna have to pick it up.
Right. You don't
like
have to.
When he say get your butt out to Bumble, ain't no more of that. Like, so let me ask. So I keep asking these questions. Are they? He also signed over the Democratic Party account to Chris Welch, Speaker Chris Welch. Did you see that? The $9 million transfer, he signed it over.
Dang, $9 million.
Mm-hmm. Which means that now even the money that everybody was worried about,
but he didn't need it, and it shows. I don't know,
his loyalty to the party.
Yeah,
and saying this wasn't my money, even though I lorded over it. It's not my money. The title goes to the speaker. I don't need this money personally because I
got $13 million. So who cares?
No, that's the $13 million. That's what it came out of.
I thought that was he's got an account that's called Friends of Mike Madigan.
I thought, okay, so I don't know. We'll have to check that one out. But I thought the big account, he had one, Friends of Mike Madigan, was like $5 million or something. And the other one was like, because I feel like they pulled
I'll
together.
take that.
Well, my point is, though, now there really is no reason for anyone to fear Mike Madigan. Right? Like,
no, there isn't.
And so now the question becomes, how long before? Remember how I told you Jan Schakowsky was running Facebook ads in the public opinion? How long before, in the court of public opinion, association with Madigan. Like, think about that Susanna speech, right? And think about somebody in the like a Republican playing that speech, chopping it up and playing it, and then interspersing it with Mike Madigan comment. Mike Madigan, right?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good.
So my question becomes, how long before any association with Mike Madigan becomes a liability? I feel like this next election, depending on if the Republicans field a real candidate or not, or if even the left-leaning Democrats, the progressives decide they want to field candidates in these spots. Because I would tell you that I wouldn't be surprised if the progressives try and field a candidate for a Secretary of State. And being able to utilize
me too.
Utilize all of that negative publicity to do it. I mean, because think about it. Any viable person in the space, with the exception of maybe President Steele, owes a big chunk of their success to Mike Madigan. You think about it.
Well, he was the speaker and the
chairman of the Democratic Party.
It's hard
and
to get around that.
100%. Unless you can demonstrate that you can.
Right.
Right?
I mean, yeah, some people just had to go through them.
Some people had to go through. Some people we know had to go through. Not tripping at all. But my question now becomes, who gets to claim Madigan as, like, when does it become like you get to go through the accounts and look and say, man, this person took, they try to do it with Michelle Harris. I think this Michelle Harris race is probably the last time that Madigan is a true benefit to you politically, publicly. Right? Because I think you'll see the last vestiges of his power in the Democratic Party being expended on this, because I feel like he cannot go out with allowing Dick Durbin to take all of his lunch. Right? Like, again, remember, he sent the letter out and said, bye to everybody except you, Dick.
He's going to keep the
Durbin.
raisins.
Huh?
He's going to keep his raisins.
Yep. So now my question becomes, guys, how long? Like, remember how I told you that there was a time when Madigan started slipping off and people started falling off, and then a lot of black people who would never have ever been even able to come into their office started to climb the Madigan ladder, and they was waving the Madigan flag because, they were now Madigoons because he was now on his second and third string. Remember that? You remember me talking about that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of the black people who would never have ever been able to come to the Madigan camp. And how all of a sudden, as he started falling off, they became more important and they started getting contracts and opportunities really because of Madigan. Having less than and having to prove, again, what's in it for the black people. And so, as they started having to answer questions and they started having to come to war in black communities, they started conscripting farmers and peasants, turning them into warriors, overinflated warriors, utilizing Madigan's army and Madigan's toolbox. But now you got to look at all them people who was fronting with their toolbox, with their 13 million, and say how much you got in your account. And who can you save when it's just you? Right? A lot of people out there like that.
I think isn't the bigger question, is what happens to Madigan and, Getson, Danner, and Madigan, or Madigan and Getson, Danner, whatever.
They gonna stay rich. We don't have nothing to do with Madigan that Getson, Danner, because that's a whole nother bucket of money that Mike Madigan pilfered.
But does he retire from it? Does he just kind of like truly retire?
Well, realistically, I don't like in the Madigan Getson Danner. I would guess that, considering that he's got tax, like part of that indictment talked about him in land deals, and we don't want the quick strike, we want a long-term relationship. My guess is, as all of this stuff is unconstructing, people are gonna be like, there's really not a benefit for me to walk in your door and, hi, should I talk into the flower?
Right.
Right? Like,
Or even have the feds come to your office to talk to you. You don't want that either.
Right. My thing is, why is it now, why do you go to Madigan to get your property taxes when you know that that's going to open you up with the feds? And then the assessor is anti-you. They trying to get the assessor right now because they can't figure it all out. But now if he goes to the assessor, what you going to do? So I would say that Madigan and Getzendanner is about as good as Burke and whatchamajigam. Do you really? Who goes to a law firm that is under federal indictment for the programs that you're doing? And you're no longer the speaker. You're no longer the all-powerful almighty. So now it's like, realistically, anybody that gives him a tax break should be essentially under investigation. So the moment that the speaker or Burke or any of those associated law firms that have prospered under that time, my guess is all of them are probably under some sort of federal scrutiny. Now, this is not me casting that on that, alleged, but I would guess that if you know that there's a racket of 20 people, and at the top of the racket, 2 people said, we're going to win and they're the bosses, then they done probably already set the whole racket up. So that they say, all of them 10 people or them other 20 property tax attorneys, that's the big guys? You think they ain't got a workers agreement between all of them? Yeah, they do. Because it's a closed circle. So now my question becomes, though, so who signs up at Madigan, Getzendanner right now and says, could you represent me?
So it sounds to me, it's like I saw Risky Business. It's like when Tom Cruise said, well, looks like it's Illinois, so it looks like it's Palm Springs.
Now, maybe, or Michigan, or Denver, or Indiana.
Who wants to go to? Oh, I see where you're going.
You see I did that right there? See how I did that right there? Well, he could stay downtown.
I got gas in Indiana a couple days ago.
I just got to ask a question. Do you think there's any possibility that Mike Madigan will ever have to go to MCC downtown? Can you imagine that?
No, not really.
I mean, like if he gets indicted federally, does he have to go there? Like, does he have to check in at least? Like, do the brothers get like a crack at it?
No, I think you have to, you go before the judge and they determine what your bail will be and you pay it.
But you don't got to go to, like, if it's a federal case, you ain't got to go to the joint, like, at none? Like, you ain't got to walk through there?
No. That place isn't big enough for everybody who got a federal case.
Man, Charlie. I mean, I'm thinking.
And there's people who
I'm just telling you, one night.
Waiting in there. So they're taking up bids.
So I'm just saying, one night, I bet they'll get everything they want. I'm saying the feds. I can't. How long do you think people will purge their accounts? Like, how long before, like, people start? Remember how people was giving Ed Burke money back?
Oh yeah.
Will people give Mike Madigan money back? Like, will it turn into a campaign?
Too early
issue?
For that. Maybe if he's convicted
of something,
maybe
in the governor's race, you think if he's convicted of something, people gonna be like, give it back? How much? What if you don't have it?
Oh, well, once the race starts and people start saying he took money.
Yep.
Yeah, people.
I'm just telling you. You ain't got to. Remember, Burke didn't get convicted and people was giving that money back. They was like, remember Suzanne was like, remember Tony Preckwinkle had to go re-raise the money to give it back. Because, you get the money. They get the money. They get the money to black people. Black people ain't got it, so that money gone. That money spent before they get it. You ask for $100,000, they already 120 in debt. Right? They already done.
That's true.
So you can imagine what happens to all of these people that done took the Madigan money and he say give it back. Because I'm telling you, the purge is coming. There is going to be a moment in our history in Illinois when claiming your allegiance with Madigan will be like saying I was with the South. Seriously.
I was with the South.
I was with the South. And I mean, if you think about the people who have benefited, it looked like the South. You seen any black people in the mix? Old South.
No, nobody who I can name who made any real money under this.
Because his whole premise was, you Negroes know what your place is. Pick the cotton, bale the hay. Thank God that the brothers and sisters have liberated themselves. They have opened up the gate. They have walked out. I got big plans, big expectations for our new speaker. But y'all, just think about it. Like, what was old is now new. The things that were a benefit being like, it used to be a time when people wanted to ask what would Madigan think. Now, if you ask what Madigan think, that could be you getting canceled. I think Mike Madigan will be canceled in Illinois. I do.
Well, they're definitely not asking that question anymore.
All right, y'all. We got to wrap this thing up. This is the Maze Jackson Show. So for Maze and Sonia and Ruthie, who ain't here, and Todd, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show. Now, I think she is out in the hallway. Back from her worldwide trip, COVID tested, I'm sure. It is the Book of Dawn. Now, I missed Miss Millhouse for a little while, running around here remotely transferring in. We're gonna cancel these old remote broadcasts in a minute. But stay tuned for the Book of Dawn. So for Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people, for the black people, for the black people, for the black people. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. For the black people, 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 for the black people. What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. For the black people.